going to be. He gets away from one tackle. Lefty's still running. Cuts back up. Lefty's still on his feet. Lefty's still on his feet. He's down the sideline. He's headed for pay dirt. Touchdown, Dragons!
Are you ready? It's time for York Institute Dragon Football on WDEB. We'll send it to Gary Clark right after this.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
The long wait for the return of high school football is over. The 2018 football season kicks off on Thursday with an 11-game appetizer, concludes on Saturday with a 5-game dessert, and with 162 Friday contests fashioned into an entree, it's a menu fit for a feast. Hey folks, Dennis Weaver here, Friday Night Thunder, with your Week 1 preview. We begin our preview in the Friday Night Thunder radio network areas. Tullahoma hosts Shelbyville on Thursday. On Friday night, the Tracy Hayworth era as head coach begins at Grundy County as East Hickman visits Colmont. Laverne's travels to Smyrna in a region battle of North Rutherford rivals. The Battle of Sequatchie Valley takes place in Dunlap as South Pittsburgh visits Sequatchie County. Cascade travels to Lynchburg to take on Moore County. Franklin County visits Coffee County in a battle of non-region rivals. Upperman will play host to Cookeville in the Battle of Putnam County. DeKalb County hosts Warren County in a battle of neighbors. And in a battle for county bragging rights, Williamson County's Independents host Rutherford County's Oakland. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, Ravenwood visits Centennial and Brentwood hosts Franklin in a pair of region battles. Fairview takes on Williamson County rival Page. Gallatin visits Springfield. Creekwood visits Dixon County, and Clarksville travels to Rossview in a pair of intra-county rivalries. Camden will cross the river to take on Waverly, and Lebanon will visit the Tobacco Bowl to take on Trousdale County. In East Tennessee, Farragut hosts Bradley Central in an intriguing 6A contest. Brainerd hosts Howard in the Battle of Chattanooga. Copper Basin visits Polk County in the Battle of Ducktown. Kingston visits Harriman in the Battle of the Smokestacks. Morristown West takes on Morristown East in the Battle of Hamblin County. McMinn Central visits McMinn County in another battle of neighbors. Chucky Doak visits Pigeon Forge. Coalfield visits Wartburg Central. Gibbs travels to Austin East. And in a pair of battles of heavyweights, Greenville visits Dobbins Bennett and Maryville travels to Knox Catholic. In West Tennessee, Dresden heads to Martin to take on Westview. Milan welcomes Humboldt to Bullitt Town. Huntington travels to McKenzie, while Trinity hosts Jackson Christian in a battle for Jackson. Adamsville visits Bolivar Central. Bolton heads to Millington. White Station visits Briarcrest, and Ridgeway travels to MUS in a pair of public versus private battles in Memphis. And the weekend ends with 5 games on Saturday, 3 of those taking place in Shelby County. Fairleigh plays at Whitehaven, Mitchell hosts Southwind, and Westwood visits Hamilton. That does it for the Friday Night Thunder Week 1 preview. You can keep up with all the scores from across the state all weekend long on our popular statewide scoreboard, available at our website, FridayNightThunder.com. There you can also listen to our post-game show from 9:30 to 11 Central Time each Friday night. If your local radio station does not carry Friday Night Thunder, encourage them to join our ever-expanding network. This has been Dennis Weaver for Friday Night Thunder.
It's football time on the mountain. At Progressive Savings Bank, we know running your small business is a lot like coaching a team. You call the plays that drive your business towards success, and we're your number one fan. After all, you provide the products, the services, and jobs that keep our local economy moving forward. We partner with small businesses to help you reach your financial goals with free business checking and flexible financing to help operate and grow your business with the right financial equipment to keep you in the game. This is Mark Justice wishing our York Dragons a successful football season. We are proud once again to sponsor Dragon First Downs. Progressive Savings Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
With 1 week in the books for most Tennessee high school football teams, a full slate of games on week number 2 provides an early crossroad in the season for squads from Bristol to the Bluff City. Hey folks, Dennis Weaver here, Friday Night Thunder with your week 2 preview. We begin our preview in the Friday Night Thunder radio network area as Tullahoma hosts Coffee County in the 93rd meeting of the Coffee Pot rivalry. Giles County visits Lawrence County in the annual Cowbell game. Gordonsville will cross the river to tangle with their old rival Smith County. Sequatchie County heads down the valley to Jasper to tangle with Marion County. Fayetteville will play host to Forest as both teams are looking for their first win of the year. Franklin travels to the reservation to take on Riverdale. Marshall County will visit neighboring Shelbyville, and Blackman heads down to Alabama to take on Florence. But the biggest matchup in the state takes place in Maryville as the Rebels play host to Oakland. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, Summit will cross 840 to take on Independence. Ensworth travels to CPA. Antioch hosts Stewart's Creek in a region game. Page travels to county rival Nolensville. Livingston Academy will visit neighboring Cookville. And Pearl-Cohn visits MBA. In West Tennessee, Whitehaven visits Ridgeway in the blood-hate rivalry game of Shelby County this week. Houston takes on the rival Red Devils at Germantown. Chester County visits Adamsville. Tishomingo County, Mississippi also visits Pusser Country as they travel to McNairy Central. Dyersburg heads down Highway 51 to take on Brighton. Millington visits Mumford. Haywood hosts Jackson Northside. And Milan plays host to Peabody as each team is coming off wins last week. In East Tennessee, Walker Valley heads into Cleveland to tangle with the rival Bears of Bradley Central. In Fountain City, Knoxville Central plays host to Fulton in the Battle of Broadway. Carnes visits Halls. Knox West hosts neighboring Hardin Valley. Dobbins Bennett heads to the Secret City to take on Oak Ridge. Boyd Buchanan travels to take on South Pittsburgh. And Tennessee High will play host to Lee, Virginia in the Stone Castle. That does it for the Friday Night Thunder Week 2 preview. You can keep up with all the scores from across the state all weekend long on our popular statewide scoreboard available at our website, FridayNightThunder.com. There you can also find links to our Facebook and Twitter pages and listen to our post-game show from 9:30 to 11 Central Time each and every Friday night. If your local radio station does not carry Friday Night Thunder, encourage them to join our ever-expanding network. This has been Dennis Weaver for Friday Night Thunder.
We've been taking care of business.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
Coalfield, that'll be Wyatt Withrow. And Withrow going to bring it in to about the 28-yard line. That's where the Coalfield Yellow Jackets, who come in 1-0, Gary, they're coming off that win over Wartburg. They're, as we said, the only team last year to beat York other than Smith County that wasn't in York's district. And the history between the two, York has a 2-1 record against them.
Yeah, you know, Coalfield was down for several years, has come back in recent years, had solid teams. Actually made a state final about 7 or 8 years ago. Had a lineman by the name of Zach Stewart who signed with UT but never played.
And now handoff up the middle to Seth Lau. Lau's going to be, it's just going to be tackled and dropped. So we apologize. The live remote thing evidently didn't go on when I told it to. So me and this computer have a love-hate relationship. It hates me and I hate it. And I don't know where the love part comes in at, but we have that kind of relationship. Out up is going to be quarterback Lance Bird. Bird under center, got one man in the backfield, shifts one to the left side. They're going to pitch it out to the back man. He's got a couple blockers at him, but he's only going to get to the 30. Good job by the Dragons, as coming up to make the play was Landrick Lefeview.
Yeah, nice job by Lefeview, and also Cole Cooper on that side, Gary. You know, they strung that out to the sideline and stopped him for about a 1-yard gain, so it's Coalfield in 3rd and long here.
And that makes it 3rd and 7 as we're a little bit bad angle for the clock, but we're just underway in this one. We got 10:54 left to go here in the first quarter as Coalfield with the football who start the ball game. They've got a 3rd and 7. We'll see what Bird can do with his arm now as he sits, takes the snap. He's going to drop back. York trying to put a rush on. He's got a man out there going to overthrow. Picked off by the Dragons. Picked off, and that one's some running room going down the sideline for Thomas Miller. Is he headed to the end zone? Yes, he is, but we got a flag on the field. Looks like probably a block in the bag, Gary, and that's way on this side. That's one of those blocking the backs you really didn't need to make.
Yeah, that wasn't affecting the play, Gary, and you know, 2 flags right there together, and they're going to get York for an illegal block here. And negates the touchdown. York will have the ball somewhere probably inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, around the 28-yard line, but that was a tough call for the Dragons, and that's one of those, if you see that number on the back, you got to let them go if you see the name.
Yeah, and of course Bird making that pass, Gary, and I believe that was intended for Wyatt Withrow, and it was a little high, but Withrow's got to get his hands on that, and it just sailed through his hands and right into the lap of Miller, and he was off and running. He was gone.
Seen the same thing last night in the Crush game. They had an interception. The kid took it back. I believe it was Hall took it back for the touchdown. They had to bring it back because they had a block in the back out away from the actual play, so that hurts. As now up will come the Dragons. Left view, he's got in the backfield Josiah Hennings, the jackhammer, and they'll give it off this time to Cole Cooper, right side. He'll spin up to about the 25-yard line. So the Cole train picks up a few on the first. Gets about 3, Gary.
Yeah, good run by Cole Cooper there. Was actually met in the backfield by Jonathan Woodward and managed to avoid him, get about 3 yards. So Woodward did make the tackle on the play.
And now we're going to have a 2nd and about 7 for the first down. York deep in Yellow Jacket territory after the turnover. Leftview's got the 21. Oh, a good job there. Busted up by big number 54. Come in Johnny Carroll, and he just dove in, tripped up the runner that time, Gary.
Yeah, he did. Come in, met the runner, and took him down for about a 2-yard loss, Gary, and it's going to be 3rd down for York now, 3rd and about 9.
So 3rd and 9 for the Dragons, and on the carry, that was Cade Brandon on the carry, and he was stuffed. So now a 2-yard loss, and it's a long 3rd down, but we're in pretty much 4-down territory for the Dragons. They need to get some here and then they get the rest of it. As they get Cooper going to bounce to the outside. He's got one man to beat, but a good tackle out there in the open field by number 34. Good job by 34. Ashton Jones come up and made a big play.
Yeah, he did. Cooper didn't have any, trying to hit one of the gaps. Couldn't do that. Bounced outside, Gary. He managed to get a couple of yards out of it, but Jones there to run it down.
That was a good open field tackle as well by Jones. That was just good form tackling, I'll say, on that one. That was a good-looking tackle.
Wrapped him up around the ankles, Gary. We wasn't going to let him get away.
So York now with a 4th and about 6 for the first down. Leftview calling out the play. Now he's going to take a timeout. So we got a timeout early in this one. Timeout on the field. We've got 8:34 to go in the first. Ain't no score yet.
Whether you're competing on the athletic field or working hard in the classroom, remember you have the support of First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. We're behind you 100% of the way. Good luck to all the area teams. Play tough and play fair. And remember, when it comes to helping you with your banking needs, we're First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And now over and over. It's First Volunteer for you.
And back here where York, Gary's got a 4th down situation here, and you don't see a lot of high school kickers that could probably hit that would be about a 44-yarder or a 42-yarder if he tried to kick the field goal.
Yeah, it'd be 41 or 42 yards, and Johan West got a good leg. I don't know if they're going to send him out to do that and, miss it and give Coalfield possession outside the 30-yard line.
And also, if you don't get it here, Coalfield's still going to be deep in their own territory, as now we got Cole train on the run. Leftview looking for the end zone. Oh, you got to get a rag on that one. Oh, number 20 over there locked up the receiver, Lathan Drake, and no call. And Gary, I don't know how you get away with that. That should have been at least a holding.
Yeah, that was actually 21, Peyton McKinney, and had both hands on him, Gary, and held him up on the route, and no flag. So Coalfield's going to take over here at the 24-yard line.
So Coalfield gets it back. No damage on the turnover, as it will be Bird under center. Bird going to hand it off, cutting back in the middle, and that's going nowhere, as that one dropped right at the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard or so. But, Gary, that was good defense by the Dragons.
Yeah, Jones was the ball carrier there, Aston Jones, and Lanyard Clefview, the first one there, come met him in the hole, wrapped him up.
And then Daedric Phillips helped put him down as
Number 42, Daedric Phillips.
Daedric won the Clark Range connection for the York team. As up now will come number 11, Bird. He's going to get under center. Got one man in the backfield. Two split out wide to right, one to the left. They're going to quick out this time over the side. Cole Cooper can't catch him. He's going to get some run. He's still on his feet. Still on his feet over the 40. And now we got a rag on the play back here. And that one's going to be taken down right about the 49-yard line. But we got a rag all the way back at about the 42-yard line.
And we're going to have holding on this one, Gary, so that'll be coming back.
Yeah, that was a holding on Coalfield. So that would, if it's from the spot, that's still going to be back and make it a second down and still long for the Coalfield Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, from where that's at, looks like it'll be about 2nd and 9, Gary. But, a little quick flip out there, and Jones had some running room. Leftview finally ran him down about midfield. But, a block there, a little bit of a hold, and got called for it. So that's a break for York.
York got a big break there, as that's going to be Coalfield with the football now going to be 2nd and 8. Bird comes up in under center, got 2 men split wide to the left, 2 in the backfield, takes the snap, drops back, looking, he's going to throw it out, got a man out there, and a good reception right about the 37-yard line, just enough for the first down, well, about 3 yards past the first down marker.
Yeah, pass completed to, I didn't get the number over there, I thought it might have been.
I'm thinking it was 14, but I'm not sure.
I believe it was 21, Peyton McKinney on the catch.
Could have been.
Yeah,
McKinney over there to the right side, so it's McKinney on the right side. You got Whitsenberg on the left side. And now they're going to hand it off to the back man. That one's going to be wrapped up. Good play by the Dragons as coming in and sealing it up there for the Dragons. Big number 76. That is Holden Slavin. And Slavin went and called his name a lot, but Holden come in there and he shot the gap well on that one.
Nice play by Holden there, and he did. He came through the gap and just ran him down. The plays were going away from him, Gary, to the left, and he just shot through his gap and made that tackle for a loss. Nice play.
With 2 receivers, York's got to cut down that cushion they're giving the receivers, though. That last time you thought York owed that boy money is so far away from him. And now up will come Bird. Bird looking to throw. Bird's going to be flushed out. Now he's going to throw it downfield. Got a man out there, and that's going to be called at about the 46 of York and driven out of bounds. Good defense by Lathan Drake, but Gary Coalfield's Bird looks like a pretty decent quarterback other than that first throw he had.
Yeah, and, that route, that pass complete again to Peyton McKinney, but he's just running a go route for about 15 yards and turning it out, Gary, and they're hitting him, and York's going to have to close the gap up.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 inside Dragon territory. We're under 6:45 left to go here in the first quarter, and it's a 0-0 ball game. As now, back quickly, number 9, he's going to pitch it at the last second, and that's going nowhere as he is smothered and dropped by a host of Dragons, and I think the Dragons read that one like a cheap novel, Gary. They were waiting on that one. Drops him for about an 8-yard loss.
Yeah, he flipped that at the last minute, and Cade Brannon was right there to lead the charge. There was 5 or 6 other Dragons jump in there with him to bring him down, but that's a loss of 6 and 2nd and 16 here.
So now it's going to be 2nd and long for the Yellow Jackets as that backed them up.
Coalfield come out 3 wide receivers and 2 backs, Gary, and, they're using the one back to set little flip screens and things like that, and, they're creating space on the football field.
And now dropping back is Bird. Bird still looking. Bird looking. He's going to throw one out. He's just going to chuck this one in the cheap seats.
For Seth Lau, incomplete.
Yeah, Seth Lau, the running back, was out here in the flat, and he just threw it away, threw it over his head. Well covered. Good coverage by York on that one.
Yeah, York had a defender right on top of him. And so now he throws that one away, and you got to be impressed with Bird's footwork. He's able to get out of the pocket. If he's flushed out, he's able to move around and set his feet and make the throw.
Yeah, he's got a good arm, Gary, and other than that first pass, he's been real good tonight so far. Big play for York here. Need to create a punt.
Here's where Coalfield last time run that little swing pass. But now they're going to hand off right the middle, and that's going nowhere as the jackhammer was waiting on him. Josiah Headings put him down right at the line of scrimmage, and You're not going to get away from the jackhammer once he gets a hold of you.
Yeah, he met him, and Johan West come cleaned it up, Gary, and good job by York. Create a fourth and long here in a punting situation.
So now dropping back will be number 21. That is Peyton McKinney. McKinney, the receiver, also the punter. And we'll see what McKinney can do with it here.
It'll be Drake back to field this for York. And
last week, Drake let a lot of the kicks drop as he wouldn't make the play on it. And he's going to let you roll this time, too. And, it's going to roll all the way down to the 4-yard line. That's one of those situations, Gary. You got to come up and make that catch, even if you have to fair catch it.
Yeah, you got to try to keep that ball. It rolled for 15 yards, Gary. You could have had that close to the 20. So
that's that rugby-style kick, Gary. That's what it's designed for you. Running, it's to hit low and drive and just rolling and take that kicker's roll.
Yeah, good punt by Coalfield to back York up here. And York got to try to find something in the running game here, Gary. They here in the early going, the gaps have all been filled, and got to get some blocking out of the offensive line. They're not winning the line of scrimmage here through the first quarter.
And Lefty brings his squad up. He's going to hand it off up the middle and straight ahead, still rolling up to about the 9-yard line. I believe that was Cooper, wasn't it?
Headings, the ball carrier.
No, that's Josiah Headings, a jackhammer straight ahead. And that's a good way to get out of the deep in your own territory is just give it to the big guy and let him run over people.
Yeah, good run there. He stepped across the first tackler and carried a couple with him for a couple of yards, about 5 yards on that, Gary.
So he gets them out of the shadow of their goal line. And now it's going to be 2nd and about 4 for the first down. They're going to hand it off this time to Headings again. Headings still on his feet, and the jackhammer up to the 20, and he would not be denied, Gary. He was hit and stopped, but just kept churning.
Yeah, he did. Bounced off a couple of tackles, got it out a little bit, and then found a little bit of running room. And first down for York. That'll be the first one of the night, and good hard running by Josiah Headings.
If I'm the safeties for the Yellow Jackets, and I see Headings getting through that initial line of scrimmage, I'm going to be biting hard on my tooth guard.
Yeah, you gotta, he's a load, and you gotta hit him low, and he's hard to tackle up high.
And now they're going to pitch it out. This time the pitch gets away and going for it, and York has got. Did York come up with it? There's a scrum. And Coalfield comes away with it. Coalfield gets the miscue. The official. Now, who are they going to give it to?
They signaled it's Coalfield ball.
I thought
but it looks like they're giving
Lefty.
it to York. Yeah.
Good job by Lefty to get back and get on that one. But, Gary, that puts them back to where they are almost originally started this drive.
Yeah, the official originally signaled Coalfield ball, but it is York ball here. Big loss on that play, though.
The head official actually pointed toward Coalfield but good job by Lefty to come up with it. And now they're going to hand it off this time. Cutting through, it's going to be Miller. Miller's in there, an open field. Miller had one man to beat, and he is wrapped up and dropped. A good run by Miller to get a whole lot of that back.
Yeah, he cut through, broke a tackle, Gary, and slung it to the outside, and had one guy to beat. And Peyton McKinney was the man to beat. And you can't see behind you, but if he waits for the block set up, he's got a long way to run. And he tried to beat the man, and McKinney able to make the tackle.
That's one thing the Yellow Jackets look fundamentally sound, especially on defense. Going to be 3rd down and 8, which is much better than 2nd and 22. As Cole Cooper in motion now, it's going to be Lefeview on the keeper, and Lefeview going to be get maybe a yard, and it looks like York's going to have to do their first punt of the night.
Yeah, it's going to be about 4th and 5, Gary, and maybe a yard, maybe 2 on that one. But 4th down, backed up. York's going to line up and punt this. Lathan Drake coming on the punt.
And that was big by Miller to get them out of that deep in their own territory, because Drake will drop it back to a punt, and Jones back to receive it about the Coalfield 40, as it's going to be a end-over-ender, and that one's going to hit, and it's going to take a drag and roll, but it's going to die right about the 36.5-yard line. So 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets in good field position for them, Gary.
Yeah, it is. A good punt, though, by Drake. That punt it actually went for about 43 yards, so a nice punt by Drake to get York back on the other side of the field.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. We got a scoreless ball game, .45 left to go in this first quarter. If I don't give the time a lot, folks, it's because I have to lean over the rail to get it. And it's going to be Bird now under center, got the 3-man backfield. Got a 1-man moving over to the left now, number 24. He's going to hand it off to the right side and got some running room, still on his feet up over the 50 to about the 49-yard line. That was number 34, Ashton Jones on the carry, Gary, and that time he just set up and followed his blockers.
Yeah, he did. You know, they ran a little misdirection there, Gary, and give it to him and got a guy pulling out in front, and got 2 blockers and 1 defender there, so he's able to get through the hole. He's done that a couple of times now.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. 93 seconds left to go here in quarter number 1. As under center will go Bird. Bird waiting. Takes the snap, hands it to the back man. He's going to be hit, gets away from another one, and then he's going to be wrapped up and finally stopped. Good job that time by the Dragons, number 76, Slavin again.
Yeah, we've called his name a couple of times. He held on there and made the play, and, you know, still a gain of about 3 yards on the play for Coalfield.
So 76, Holden Slavin. Actually, that was Bryce Slavin, I guess, instead of Holden Slavin. Our roster says, but I believe that's Bryce Slavin, if I'm not mistaken, instead of Holden Slavin. So, Bryce, we're sorry. They actually wrote on Thursday, they've got him down as Holden Slavin, but on the roster they gave us, but it's actually Bryce Slavin. So, Bryce Slavin. Good job, Bryce Slavin. He's had a couple of good tackles tonight. As now rolling out his ground, almost picked up, and did he get up? Did he catch it?
He did. He
caught a great play there by the Dragons, number 21.
Cade Brannon on the play.
Cade Brannon, the young man. It was, Gary, that one was batted by the defensive player. The offensive player almost had it, but then Cade Brannon comes up with it, and now a flag on the field.
Yeah, we got a flag late, but that ball's tipped twice before Brannon able to come back and get it, Gary, and right now it's an interception for York. We'll see what's going to happen here.
And now we'll see what the official says. Personal foul against the Yellow Jackets. So tack on 15 on top of that. So that's a big penalty there. That puts them all the way into Dragon territory, Gary, and that's a big, big play.
Yeah, with that 15-yard penalty, that will put it at the Coalfield 44-yard line. So York in Coalfield territory here.
And that personal foul gets York into Coalfield territory. But we've seen more flags in a Memorial Day parade so far, so let's hope this thing will continue all night. We got about 29 seconds left to go here in the first quarter in a scoreless ball game. York with 2 interceptions in this first quarter. They're going to hand off to Miller left side. Miller trying to bounce outside. He gets away from the first guy, breaks another tackle, still on his feet, gets all the way up to about the 34-yard line. Gary, he's
another flag come in late there, Gary. They've been some talking and some little bit of late pushing and shoving here, and the referee's going to get control of that.
So we'll see what this call is. And dead ball, personal foul against York. So what goes around comes around, and now York's going to be backed up again, Gary.
Yeah, going to put them in a probably about a 1st and 15 situation here, and as we come to the end of the first quarter, it's going to be close. This should have been the last play of the first quarter.
Yeah, we're down to 18.9 seconds left to go here in the quarter. And now York's all the way back to the 49-yard line. Got it first and about 15 now for the first down. As what was a 1st and 10 now is a 1st and 15 from all the way back to 49. They're going to hand it up the middle. It's Headings, and he gets up to the 45, and that's probably going to be the last play of the quarter. As we head to end of one, ain't no different, folks. It's all scoreless after one.
Buying a new car should not feel like a scavenger hunt. First, you go from one dealership to look around.
I don't know.
Next, you go to another dealership clear across town for a test drive. And it's on down the street to the next dealership with the new incentive programs that could save you. And then it's back to the first dealership again. Hold it. There is a better way.
Yay!
At Casey's Frontier Chevrolet, you will find an incredible selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs to fit you and your budget. Casey's offers easy, no-hassle financing, and bad credit is no problem. If you have a credit score above 450 and $1,800 a month of provable monthly income, you are pre-qualified for a new Chevy starting at $259 a month. It's all in one place, all for you. So instead of spending your time and gas driving all over the place, come to one location where you can find it all. Casey's Chevy is just 12 miles north of Cookeville on Highway 111, or browse the huge selection at Casey'sChevy.com. That's Casey'sChevy.com, the dealership in the cow pasture.
Stock number SP7285. Financing with approved credit. Some exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Well, I don't know about you, Gary, but I'm going to head to Mama's Diner after this place.
Yeah, really.
Hey, well, we got the first quarter stats, Gary, and it's pretty much even so far.
It is. You know, you look at it, York 11 plays for 37 yards, Coalfield 14 for 54, and, you know, Coalfield, Aston Jones 5 carries 20 yards here in the early going.
And this time Cooper going to get it. Cooper's going to go straight ahead, and he hit straight on number 23, knocked his helmet off as they went head-to-head, and he gets to the 40-yard line. So that's going to bring down third and about 6, Gary.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Woodward, and that's at least the second time he's lost his helmet, Gary. He gets in on the action, but nice run by Cole Cooper. And, you know, you look at it from York's side, it's Thomas Miller, 2 carries, 23 yards, and he's had the ability to make the first guy miss. So maybe look for a little more Miller here.
It looks like they're going to split Miller out wide to the right this time. As a snap, Lefevue getting a big rush. They're setting up perfect for Josiah. Josiah gets away from the first tackle, still on his feet. Josiah heading downhill, still on his feet, all the way down the 20-yard line. The jackhammer just getting away and stepping over people. And Gary Coalfield, instead of wrapping up, they tried to trip him up, and he just went over the top of them.
Yeah, he's able to. You know, they've learned, they've watched him, and they're trying to hit him low. They're not wrapping up though, Gary, and he's getting away from it. And you know, probably should have been stopped up here for little or no gain. Got away from that, and then you know, was able to make 2 or 3 guys miss, and York just about in the red zone here.
Now, this is his second year of organized football, folks. Can you imagine what this kid would have been had he been playing all these years? This guy is a just athletic phenomenon. And now it's going to be handed off to Cole Cooper. Cooper trying to get the outside. He's trying to get the angle, dives ahead to about the 12, and the Cole train picks up 8.
Nice run by Cole Cooper there. They tried to string it out to the right sideline, Gary, and he just kept swinging it out and swinging it out. Finally turned it up, and he got about 8 yards on that. And York they're marking it at the 15, so it'll be 2nd and 5. Looked like he's inside the 15.
I thought he was down to about the 12, but they're going to mark him back at the 15. So 2nd and 5 as York comes up. Looks like they have Cooper in the backfield now in place of Headings. Got Cole Cooper on the move. Now they're going to hand off left side all the way down to the 1-yard line. And was that Miller?
Thomas Miller on the carry.
Miller on the carry. So Miller gets to the 1-yard line and just.
They're going to mark that on about the 3, Gary. They're calling him down about the 4. Actually, they're marking on the 4-yard line, it looks like.
I'm not sure on these, but either my eyesight's going bad or I'm getting 0-1. But that looked like he was down the 1-yard line. But they're going to mark him at the 4, so it's 1st and goal now for the Dragons. As Lefevue brings them up. Got a man in motion, going to hand it off up the middle and banging straight ahead. Did he get there to the 1-yard line? Was that Cooper on the carry? Ben Cooper on the carry. Yeah, Ben Cooper to the 1-yard line. And if they don't mark him back to the 5, that's he's got it 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Ben Cooper just took that fullback gut off, up through the A gap there, right beside the center. Gary managed to get a couple of yards out of that.
So now this is where I put Headings back in. If I'm right here, I would give Headings the ball and let him go straight ahead. It looks like
going to be Cooper. Yeah, going to be the fullback here, and Brandon in the game. Looks like Miller as well.
Lefevue. Going to hand it off to Cooper. He dives straight ahead. Did he get there?
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Dragons! Well, I had to wait there for a minute. I guess the officials want to get that element of suspense in there, but The Dragons on the scoreboard now.
Yeah,
leading 6-0.
The line judges, both of them come in, kind of look, and finally the judge on the far side of the field come in and signal touchdown.
And now Johan West will try to add the extra point. Johan hit, I think, 4 out of 5 last week. Was it right? Is that all right, Gary?
Actually, I think he's 5 out of 6.
And he gets this one through, and with 9:31 to go in the first half, it's a 7-0 York lead.
In Coach Charles Vaughn's 17 years of coaching, he took his team to the state playoffs and led them in multiple district and bowl championships. His life modeled teamwork, integrity, and hard work. I'm Joy Vaughn, and this man not only was my dad, but he was my coach. I grew up learning these values, and they are a large part of what Meta-Thrift Pharmacy is founded on. Come out and support our York football team.
Well, we're back here as you're getting ready to kick off, Gary, and the Dragons now up 7-0. That was an impressive drive by the Dragons.
Yeah, nice methodical work there by York to move that down the field. A big play on a little the toss to Josiah Headings got up a big chunk of that, Gary. But the rest of it very methodical by York. A good drive.
Exactly what the wing tee's designed for. Now the long drive. It's going to be back, and they'll pick it up on the bounce, and he's up to the 20 and going to be dropped right there. Good job by the Dragons special teams, and I'm trying to see the number on the stop. I believe that was number 25, if I'm not mistaken, for York.
Actually, they're giving Lefeview credit for the
tackle.
tackle.
On the tackle, yeah. So Lefeview with the tackle, and it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 20 for the Yellow Jackets.
That ball kick, that was a great kickoff by West, not real high, but kicked hard, and the up man actually, Peyton McKinney, tried to fill that, and it hit off his hands, and a little slow picking that up, and then a good play by York.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets at their own 20. Under center goes Bird. Bird's got a man in motion, going to hand to the man in motion, and he's going to be motionless as he gets about a yard before he's dropped down there.
I believe that was Aston. No, it wasn't. It was actually
Bryce Slavin, I believe.
Anthony Foster on the carry there, and it was Bryce Slavin again, I think, making the tackle.
It was Bryce Slavin, not Holden Slavin. I don't know where they got Holden Slavin.
I think that's his first name.
Is that his first?
Give him first name.
Well, I always just knew him as Bryce. So, so Bryce Slavin with the stop, and now it's going to be coming up is Bird under center. He's going to look, got a quick out this time, and got a man out there. Number 34 with the reception. He's going to get the first down and a couple of your yards. And that was a good catch that time by 34, Ashton Jones. As Gary, he called that one in stride, and he had some room.
Yeah, and you can tell early he's going to be the workhorse for them, Gary. And that just a little Tennessee-type screen pass just at the line of scrimmage. Had a blocker out there, used it effectively, and worked it for the first down. York, got to be susceptible to the small pass.
And now we got a too many men on the field. No. Touchdown.
If you're, for those of you on the radio, we've had a little girl run out on the field, and Mama going to catch her, so we had to stop play there for a second.
And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at the 33 of their own 33, as up will come Bird. Bird under center. Bird takes the snap, hands it off left side. The man runs into his own tackler, breaks free though, and he's going to get a first down as he is dropped at about the 24-yard line. And that was Foster on the carry.
Yeah, Anthony Foster on that carry. They handed it to him. He ran right into his blocker, but the bad thing about that for York is he bounced off of that, and there wasn't nobody there. So took that out around the right side for about 15 yards.
And Miller coming up making the hit to bring him down, and now it's going to be 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets at their own 45-yard line. We've got 7:58, just under 8 minutes left to go here in the first half of play. York leads at 7-0, as it will be Bird under center. Bird Takes the snap, hands it to the man in motion. Number 5, he's going to cut through. He's got a hold still on his feet. He's going to go for about 13 yards into Dragon territory at the 42.
That was Seth Lau on the carry, Gary, and Coalfield just using a little misdirection here. Quick hitters, and they're getting by getting past the first block, and they're getting some room to run. York got to come in and close the gaps up.
That was a big hole he had there. He had plenty of room to run through that open line, and now he's got a 1st and 10 at the York 42.5-yard line. Just shy of the 42, as up will come Bird. Bird got the 3-man backfield, one to the right, and one out to the right, one to the left. He's going to drop back. He's going to look to throw. He's setting up something, and now he throws it down, and it's going to be incomplete. And his intended receiver was nowhere in sight as Josiah Headings was bearing down on him, Gary, and he could feel the heat.
Yeah, he could. Josiah trying to get there, and he just let go. He's a good quarterback. He's not going to take that sack. He let it go. The play covered well. It was tended for Peyton McKinney and Johan West with the coverage there.
And he threw that one where if McKinney couldn't get, nobody was going to get it. As now it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets at the 42 of York.
They run an offense where if they block all the plays, just like everything else, it works. And when York can cause a little disruption, it goes backwards.
And now they're going to hand out. He's on the ground, and York comes up with it. 3rd turnover of the night for the Yellow Jackets. As the Yellow Jackets right now got more turnovers than Pillsbury.
Ben Cooper with the recovery there.
Ben Cooper, good job by Cooper to dive in. He saw the fullback just did get the ball, Gary.
Well, Josiah Headings got a hand in there, Gary, and knocked that ball out, and then Cooper jumped on it. So good play by Headings to cause the fumble, Cooper to recover it, and York in business again here.
So the 3rd turnover of the first half for the Yellow Jackets. It's going to be 1st and 10 as they got 7:15 left to go here in the quarter. Now York needs one of those. And York's going to get called for motion as the left wing.
Thomas Miller.
No, actually, that was Cole Cooper on this side that actually jumped on that one. Cole this time was on the left side, and he started just a little bit early.
Looked like they both were moving. Thomas Miller, I think, moved when Cooper did then, and he was actually turned towards the quarterback and had made a couple of steps when they blew the play dead.
So now it's going to be 1st and 15 after they back them up. That's a lot of penalties. We've had a lot of penalties here in this first half. As it's 7:15 left to go here in the first half as York comes under center. Got a man in motion. They'll hand it off to Headings. Headings looks for an opening. He's going to be hit, though, and he's going to be drugged down. Not much room there. He maybe got a yard, Gary.
Yeah, not much. Got wrapped up by the ankles that time, and a couple of guys come to help finish it off. Maybe, like I said, maybe a yard on that.
Big number 52 come in to seal it down, Micah Jackson. And, no. I wonder if he's in relation to Michael Jackson. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably not. As he ends up, and that's going to be 2nd and long now for the Dragons. Going to be 2nd and about 14. They got a yard on that one. Got 2 split out wide to the left, 1 to the right. Now we got Cooper in motion, and they're going to hand out, throw up the middle, and that's going to be
Ben Cooper on the carry.
Cooper going to pick up about 3, maybe not quite 3. Got a couple on it. So now it's going to be 3rd and really long, Gary.
3rd and about 11 and a half here, Gary, and looks like it might be a passing down, and a little different this week. York, when they did throw the ball, ran one receiver routes a lot of times, and having to do more than that tonight. Coalfield can cover that one receiver route.
And so now it's a 3rd and 10 for the York Dragons. They say they made back to the original line of scrimmage. Got a man in motion as Lefevue will bring it out. Lefevue going to pitch at the last second, and Cooper trying to cut back inside does, but he is wrapped up and brought down. Or actually, that's Miller wrapped up and brought down at about the 47. And Miller went down hard, Gary, and he is getting up a little bit shaky.
Actually, I think he got hung around the neck area, a little slow. Got bent back, a little slow getting up, but looks like he's okay.
And obviously a little bit of a late hit there, too. They had to kick him in late and hit him on the up around the shoulders as well. So it's going to be punted away this time by Drake.
Drake in, and it'll be McKinney and Jones back for Coalfield.
And it's going to be a shanked on this one. That one's going to hit and go, well, it takes a little bit of a York bounce, gets all the way down to 32. But that one got off the side of his foot, Gary. That's not quite as good a punt.
No, it wasn't. And like you said, off the side of the foot and down at the 32-yard line. So, about a 22-yard punt there by Drake.
Well, the Coalfield Yellow Jackets are trying to figure out how to quit shooting their toes off their foot because they have turned it over 3 times during this first half.
Between turnovers and penalties, we've had plenty tonight. There were 4 accepted penalties in the first quarter, and there have been at least 3 here in the second quarter.
So now it's going to be Bird under center. He's got the 2-man backfield. Bird going to keep it himself. He cuts back inside. Nice cut, and then he's going to go back pedal and get dropped. That's I've never been a big fan of backpedaling.
No, I haven't. He tried to go back, and they're giving him a generous line of scrimmage.
Boy,
here.
did they ever.
But he was going backwards, and when York wrapped him up, he is at least 3 yards behind that. So, break for Coalfield here. But good job by York, led by number 50 there. I think it was 50 Gilbert Gifford on the play that come in and, led that charge.
So it's going to be 2nd and 6 now for the Yellow Jackets. They pick up 4 on that. And the handoff this time over to the right side. And that one's going to be wrapped up quickly. He'll push forward to about the 40, just shy of the 40-yard line, Gary.
That's Foster on the carry again, Alan Foster, number 24, and got about 3 yards on that. And it's going to be 3rd and about 3.5 here for Coalfield.
Good job by Cole Cooper to come out of the linebacker's position, left linebacker's position, come and make the stop.
3rd and 3 for the Yellow Jackets.
That was a good job by York. They filled the gaps on that play, Gary. They tried to run that little quick draw again, and York in to fill the hole that time.
So it's 3rd down and 3 now as Bird comes under center, got the 3-man backfield, got a man in motion over to the left side. He's going to keep it again, and York's going to sack him back. Good job by Cooper to play off the block and make the tackle.
Yeah, Cole Cooper just shedded the block and wrapped him up, and then it was Bryce Slavin coming in to finish that off. Gary helped with the tackle, so it's going to be 4th down here. See what Coalfield does. Doesn't look like they've got a punter on yet.
We'll see what they want to do. They say it's 4th and 1, so we'll see what they decide to do here. This could be a risky gamble, and I think they may want to talk about it before they do it.
No, they're actually calling. They're not calling for. Maybe they did take timeout, but they want to know how far they had.
So timeout on the field. We got 3:06 left to go in the first half. It's a 7-0 York
With
lead.
Twin Lakes Future-Proof Fiber Network, experience the gig difference. With up to 1,000 megabits per second, everything's different. Connect as many devices as you'd like and stream videos without buffering. Music and photos fly, gaming gets real, and nobody's left hanging. That's the gig difference with Twin Lakes. Call or visit us online at twinlakes.net to get your gig today. Some restrictions apply. Speeds not available in all areas.
Well, the Yellow Jackets take time out. Gary, it's 4th and 1 here. Do you go for it on your side of the field, 4th and 1 on the 41?
Well, right now you're behind 7-0, and if you look at what they've done, they played pretty good, Gary. Just the one drive. I don't know. You're taking a big risk here by going for it. You got to feel pretty confident you got a play that can get a yard, and they've had a couple that could get a yard. York done a good job of stopping the last one they ran, though, so we'll see what they decide to do here, but I think they're tucking it over long and hard.
If you go for it here, though, and you don't make it, that's going to give York a great field position with 3:06 left to go in the first half. That could be interesting, but now it looks like the punter's coming out. If you go into a timeout before you're going to punt, that makes me think fake punt.
Well, I thought that maybe this would be a fake, and York's got their 11 men up here. Lefty's dropping back a little bit now, but look for the fake.
And he's going to roll out, and he's going to actually punt it away, and that's going to hit and roll and take a great roll all the way down to about the 15-yard line. And that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons. But the Dragons got in on it, Gary, and he punted that at the last possible moment.
He did, and York all over it. It looked like they had a chance to block that, Gary, but York taking over at their own 15-yard line here with 2:54 to go in the first half, and York's job is try to put a drive together here to, get points out of it or run the clock out here. You don't want to let Coalfield have the ball back, and, of course, York gets the ball to start the second half.
That's true. This could be a great momentum swing if they can punch it in here and march it down the field and get a score before halftime. As they got Cole Cooper in motion, Cooper slips a little bit and he goes forward, but not going to get much out of it, Gary. Maybe a yard or two.
It looks like they're going to give him about 2, maybe even 3 on that, Gary. So, he did slip, managed to get his traction back, push forward for a couple of yards. So, good run by Cooper. Stay, most of all, when you slip sometimes you lose control of the ball, but he kept control of it, and, York 2nd and 7 now.
Looks like Cooper going to come in for headings now. And we'll see what York does here. 2nd and 8. Lefeview under center. Got a man in motion. Now we'll drop back. Goes a quick out to Drake. Drake going to come up with. No, they say he didn't catch it. Drake couldn't hang on to it at the 20.
Yeah, ball thrown low at the feet, and Drake just couldn't come up with it. Made a diving attempt at it, but it's going to be 3rd down for York here.
Had that ball been up, Gary, Drake had about enough. He had enough yardage. He could have probably got the first down. He had
an opportunity to turn, Gary, and had a step before he had to put a move on the defender, which means he beats that defender. He could still be running.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 8 for the Dragons. And more importantly, that stops the clock. So the incomplete stops the clock, and that's what the Yellow Jackets are hoping for. Has got a man in motion. They'll fake the handoff. Lefeview hit from behind. Lefeview still got the football, and Leftview's going to have to be dropped right at the 15-yard line. And Gary Lefeview lucky that time the ball wasn't stripped.
Yeah, he didn't know the guy was there, and the guy took a swing at it and got more of the shoulder and the upper arm than he did the lower arm. Couldn't knock it loose.
And we got timeout called by Coalfield. Timeout on the field. We got 2 minutes to play in the first half. And York getting ready to punt.
He's on the 30. He's on the 20. He's on the 10. It's a touchdown.
There's nothing like football. The lights, the cheers of the crowd, and getting a chance to see our local athletes and kids give it all they've got. Come to a game. Support our local schools. Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union. A better way to bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at ucfcu.org.
Back here with 2 minutes left to go in this first half, Gary, and that time York didn't get the block, and I think Coalfield brought everybody, including their moms, out there for that rush. They had everybody coming after the quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of man coverage there on the receivers, and they did. They brought a lot of people, and somebody broke free there and just wrapped Landrick up, and he tried to push forward for a couple of yards, break free, but couldn't break loose from the total rush. So York in 4th down here going to have to punt.
So York will drop back to punt it away, and they need a big kick from Drake here.
Yeah, and Coalfield set up here about the 50-yard line, so need him to come off with about a 40-yard punt here.
They got should get good field position. He gets a boomer. That's going to back him up all the way to the 47. And dropped it in. That's going to be as far as they go. They have to fall on it. But that's still going to be great field position. But that was a heck of a punt by Drake.
That was the best punt he's made all year, Gary. He really got his foot into that one. And McKinney tried to catch it and bobbled it. And, just a little bit longer, he had number 63, Zachary Strong, right there. Had him there anyhow. But a couple more steps, Zachary may have come up with that.
And for the Yellow Jackets, Gary, they got a little bit gun shy right now when it comes to fumbles and turnovers, because they've already had 1 fumble and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, they have. Got a minute 50 to go here, and they're on the 48-yard line. Let's see York can make a stop here.
Bird under center. Bird takes the snap. He's dropping back, looking, going to get flushed. Still looking. Now he's got a big rush on. He's going to throw it down, and he's going to chuck that one out. I don't know. Now, that cheerleader was wide open. I don't know why she didn't catch that ball. She's up here on that platform up above. She was wide open.
he didn't have anybody to throw it to, so that's who he intended it for. And he is trying. He didn't get rushed hard, but he's trying to scramble away from the rush, Gary, and didn't have anybody to throw it to. Good coverage by York, and Coalfield fans are mad. McKinney got a little bit of shove there late and wanted a penalty on that, but no penalty needed for that one. And good defense by York on first down.
Bird threw that one at that cheerleader like it was his ex. I'll tell you, it's going to be 1:38 left to go here in the first half. Bird under center takes the snap. He's going to pitch it on the end around, and that one cut back inside. Good cutback, and it's going to be now the ball's on the ground, and York come over, and they're going to say it's down. I believe they're going to call it down by contact.
Yeah, the referee's marking it. He's calling it down by contact.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was down by contact because it looked like he was down before he coughed it up.
Yeah, good job by Johan West and Cole Cooper there to make that tackle and knock that ball loose.
One official says York ball, the other says Coalfield ball.
I believe the one that's saying Coalfield ball is going to end up winning, as he's the guy that was closest to the play.
And it's going to be third down. Coalfield keeps the football. That was almost the fourth turnover of the night for the Yellow Jackets.
The clock's not running. The clock needs to be running here. So
the clock should be running, and the official's not starting it. I guess because they had to stop and talk about it, they called the time, official time, but it should have started once they made the decision. As Bird now goes under center, he's got one to the right, one to the left. He's going to drop back. York trying to get a rush on him, and they do, and he's going to be sacked. What a jump by the Coal Train!
Nice job by Cole Cooper there. They had a couple of men rushing off that side, Cooper being one of them. Well, they only had one blocker, so they blocked I believe it was Josiah Headings they blocked and allowed Cooper to come in and clean it up.
So Cole Cooper knocks him down. It's going to be a timeout by York. We got 65 ticks left to go in this one, and it's York on top, 7-0 here in the first half.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium 2-topping Pizza Hut pizzas
for just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carry out.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium 2-topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges. A minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
Well, the York Dragons push a Coalfield back, Gary, and now Coalfield's got a 4th and 9, but with 1:09, it looks like they're going to send out the punter.
Yeah, McKinney coming on the punt, Gary, and it'll be Drake back deep for the Dragons.
York could use a great big return here.
Punt formation, McKinney, deep, Drake.
Got to catch the ball here. The way they fielded punts, I don't look for them to do anything with it.
And now they're going to drill this one. It's going to hit, and it's going to take that roll again, and all the way down to about the 6-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at the 6 with 52.5 seconds. Grady, you just take a knee and let the clock run out and get the ball to start the second half.
I think at this point, you be conservative here. Run something like run the fullback on the quick hitter up the middle, see if you can get something out of that, and take us to the 7-0 lead to the locker room, Gary.
So we'll see what York does here. York with it 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line. Left you got a man in motion in Cooper, going to hand it off up the left side, though, breaking a tackle, still on his feet, up over the 20, Miller. All the way to the 23 is Miller. So it's Miller time again, and he gets a big chunk of that yardage back and gets York out of the shadow of their goal line.
Yeah, and, Miller been the best runner for York tonight. It's been, the Thomas Miller show out of the backfield anyhow, and a good run by Miller there. 1st down for York.
So York 1st and 10 now. And this time Cooper on the carry. Cooper over the left side goes down after about 3 yards, Gary.
Yeah, he got 2 or 3 out of that. Got tripped up. Broke free, but got tripped up. And it looks like we got a timeout here for York. Is it York? York going to call timeout here.
Timeout by York with 19 seconds to go in the quarter. It's 7-0 York.
Ventures Farmers Co-op, happy to be a proud sponsor of York Dragon football. We wish you a winning season. Every game is a success when you have played your best. Ventures Farmers Co-op, bringing you quality products from feed, seed, and fertilizer, to automotive, to animal health and pet products, to gas, diesel, and propane, to clothing and boots for the family and a gift shop. All this and much more at Ventures Farmers Co-op, 1219 Old Highway 127 South, Jamestown. Go Dragons!
I still dream about
19 seconds left to go here in this first half, Gary, and York with a 7-0 lead. And the football, kind of surprised they called a timeout there.
A little bit. They got it on the 26-yard line. It's actually 2nd down and 7. You got to wonder if York might have a play here for this situation they want to try, Gary, and, just want to see what they might have up their sleeve here and maybe take one shot at something.
We'll maybe have some scores here at halftime. I see right in the moment, Powell is leading Cumberland County 35-0 at the half. As Lefevue going to drop back, Lefevue looking. Lefue's going to chuck one. He's got a man out there. We'll see who comes down with it. That's going to be incomplete, and we're going to have a flag. And there's another flag.
Yeah, that was Lathan Drake on the route, and I can see 21. That's McKinney on coverage, and he wrapped him up, but didn't let him catch the ball, and York going to get 15 yards out of this anyhow.
York, of course, Gary, we seen that earlier. He did the same thing earlier, and there was no call on that one.
No, they got him on that one, though. It was hard not to. That ball, perfect throw by Lefevue. He threw that about as far as he could, Gary, and it was on the money, and Drake couldn't get his arms loose to catch it.
Looking to see if I can see some scores. Don't see any real scores from our, other than Cumberland County trailing 35-0 at the half to Powell.
That's going to put York on the 42-yard line here, Gary, with 15.7 seconds to go. Maybe you try something else that.
Try that throw again. Now, York, I was out of practice one day, and they were working a play where they pitch it to Headings, and Headings throws the ball. We could see that here.
He's in the game. He's the fullback in this set, Gary.
So we'll see what Lefevue does here. Lefevue comes up. Got a man in motion in Cooper. Cooper going to take it. Cooper going to do the halfback pass. He's going for Lefevue. It's out there. Lefevue picked off. York's got to get a stop here. They can't let him take it in the end zone as picked off by number 34. He'll run out of bounds with 2.2 seconds to go, Gary. I don't know if I'd have been him trying to make a move and tried to got to the end zone.
Well, he had Cole Cooper there, and maybe another one he's going to end up with the beat. Guy at the 20, I don't know what their field goal kicker looks like. Maybe they're going to line up and try a field goal here, but, on the 20-yard line, he's gave them a play either way.
That's the 4th turnover of the night, 1 by York and 3 by Coalfield, or 5th of the night.
Actually, it is the 4th, I think.
4th, yeah. The one they got back and gave back to Coalfield, but it was almost a turnover. So that was a big call there, and a great play by number 34. What's number 34's name again?
That's Aston Jones.
Jones with the interception.
York got to buckle down, make a play here. They're going to do something that'll get to the end zone. So York back off the line of scrimmage a little bit, trying to play this, keep it out of the end zone.
Play a little center field here. Watch that hook and ladder here. As a rush, and it's going to be sacked. That went for nowhere. Coming up was Landrick Lefevue, and he dropped him at the 29-yard line. So we're at halftime of this one, and at the half, it is York. I ain't going to say it's all York because it's a 7-0 score at the half. Back in 2 minutes.
Over 80% of business owners say loyal customers are the keys to a successful business. At Hall Family Pharmacy, we appreciate our loyal customers and want to thank you by offering you a copay pass. With the Hall Family Pharmacy Customer Loyalty Program, come by the pharmacy and pick up a punch card. Every time you fill a prescription, you will get a punch on the card. When the card is full, bring it in and get your copay pass. It's a simple way for us to say thank you for your business. So stop by Hall Family Pharmacy to get your Customer Loyalty Program punch card today.
Keeping your comfort in mind. Call 879-5999. air-conditioned heating and cooling.
Is it so hot in your home that your family is playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets dibs on the freezer? Then it's time to call us. With 24/7 emergency service and a full line of energy-efficient American Standard heating and air conditioning equipment, we've got you covered this summer, so you can use your freezer for what it's really meant for. Call for a free quote today.
The kids are back in school and the weather's turning cooler, and that can only mean one thing. Flu season will start soon. This year, Hall Family Pharmacy wants to help you fight the flu. Getting a flu shot means that you are 60% less likely to get the flu virus. This year at Hall Family Pharmacy, we are excited to make a $1 donation to the local children's shopping spree for each flu shot we give. So don't let the flu knock you out, and come by Hall Family Pharmacy for your annual flu shot. You won't be the only one glad you did.
Like a great sports team needs a great captain to lead them, a county needs a great executive to move it forward, and Fentress County has it in Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy believes in this county and its endless possibilities. So for great sports and a great county, be like County Executive Jimmy Johnson and back Fentress County all the way.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium 2-topping Pizza Hut pizzas
For just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carryout.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium 2-topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges. A minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
And back here where we're at halftime of this one, and it's time now for the old Ben Franklin halftime stats. Let me get my old Ben Franklin spot over here so I don't botch this one. And our halftime stats brought to you by Old Ben Franklin. Fords are cheaper, folks, if you're over in the country.
It's Ford's summertime sales event. We are geared up and ready to go at Old Ben Franklin Ford in Watburg. We have a great selection of F-150s with up to $10,000 off. We have SUVs with over $6,000 off and a new Ford Fiesta for $0 down and $199 a month. We also have a great selection of pre-owned vehicles. If we don't have it, we'll find it for you. We have financing for everyone with rates as low as 0%. So no matter what your situation, give us a call, 1-877-NEW-FORD, or visit us online at oldbenfranklinford.com. Remember, Fords are cheaper out in the country.
Well, Gary, it's been a half of a lot of penalties and a few turnovers.
It has, Gary. Not a whole lot of offense. We've seen a fair amount of defense, though, a lot of penalties and 4 turnovers. And, just been a little sloppy play. Looks a little more like it should have been last week than this week. But York on the right end of a 7-0 score right now.
Gary, give us our halftime stats from Old Ben Franklin Ford.
Well, you look at it, it's fairly even. York, 5 first downs, Coalfield was 6, but York, 22 carries for 92 yards, 21 yards passing, 1 of 4 in the air. Total of 26 plays for 113 yards. For Coalfield, it's 18 carries, 45 yards, 49 yards passing, 4 and 9 through the air, but those 2 interceptions, pretty big there, and so it's 113 total yards for York, 94 for Coalfield. Penalties, actually, I'm looking here. There's 3 penalties on each side, 3 for 28 yards for York, 3 for 41 for Coalfield. And, of course, the 3 turnovers for Coalfield, 1 for York. Individual stats, York's led in rushing by Thomas Miller, 5 carries, 56 yards. Cole Cooper, 7 carries, 23 yards. Josiah Headings, 4 for 20. Ben Cooper, 2 for 6, and of course Headings caught the pass out here for 21 yards. And for Coalfield, they're led by Aston Jones, 5 carries for 20 yards. Their quarterback Lance Bird's 4 of 9, 49 yards, 2 interceptions. And on defense, it'll be Cole Cooper with 6 tackles, 7 total tackles. Landrick Lefevue with 6, and for Coalfield, it's Jonathan Wood with 7 total tackles. So a lot of defense, Gary. Not a great deal of offense here in the first half, but York with the only score. And, they've looked like they've been in control at times, Gary, and at times it just looks like it's either way.
Yeah, it's been a pretty even matchup. That's what we thought when we come over here, Gary. We knew this was going to be tight. It was going to be more physical, and it's going to be pretty much a defensive battle.
Really, we did think it was going to be a defensive battle, and it's turned into that. We've seen some gap plays, some quick hitters, where they get through the B or the C gap for Coalfield that's made some big plays, but every time they seem to do that, York will close it up, and, they complete a couple of passes, and York shuts it down, and, they've held them to under 100 yards here. It's been a good first half for York. The one turnover wasn't pretty, and at times the offense has been stagnant, but when they did put a drive together, it was a good-looking drive, Gary.
And York will get the football to start the second half, so we'll see what will happen. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back for our second half in just a few minutes. And we will thank Old Ben Franklin Ford for our halftime stats. Just remember, folks, Fords are cheaper in the country, so head on over to Wartburg.
It's Ford's summertime sales event. We are geared up and ready to go at Old Ben Franklin Ford in Watburg. We have a great selection of F-150s with up to $10,000 off. We have SUVs with over $6,000 off and a new Ford Fiesta for $0 down and $199 a month. We also have a great selection of pre-owned vehicles. If we don't have it, we'll find it for you. We have financing for everyone with rates as low as 0%. So no matter what your situation, give us a call, 1-877-NEW-FORD, or visit us online at oldbenfranklinford.com. Remember, Fords are cheaper out in the country.
Gary, we had a great first half. It's 7-0 York here at the end of the first half. What do you expect in this second half?
Well, I expect more of the same, Gary. It's going to be hard-hitting, low-scoring, and, it's going to be who makes the plays. And if you're York, you want to come out in this second half, get the opening kickoff and put a drive together and drive the ball down the field. Kind of felt like they were starting to maybe wear on the defensive line of Coalfield a little bit there at the end of the first half, and about gained them barely. Have run the ball, at times effectively. You just got to put a sustained drive together like they did when they scored the touchdown.
Exactly. And defensively, York has been playing great defensively. They got to keep that pressure on Bird. If Bird is free to throw the ball, he's got a good arm.
He does, and if he has time, he'll wait, and that receiver will get open, Gary. And, they've done a good job putting pressure on him. They've put a couple of good runs together and a couple of good passes together. The thing about York is they've shored up the shortcomings and have made stops or got turnovers. And, 3 turnovers in that first half. If you're York, you can't expect that in the second half.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to play good, solid defense and make the stops.
And the one thing that really hurt, too, was York had the first interception was taken in for a touchdown. That was called back on a penalty. It could have been a 14-0 ball game right now.
It could have. Thomas Miller with the interception took it to the house, brought back by a block in the back. And, York actually didn't get anything out of that drive, Gary. So, for York, though, you want to get this kickoff, and you really want to do something with it.
Looking at some scores from tonight, we see Oneida, who York has got in the future, over at Oneida, leading 27-14 in the fourth quarter. In the second quarter, it was Harriman all over Wartburg, 28-14. Let's see some other scores of teams. We see, let me see here, we've got some here somewhere. Livingston and Cookeville tied at the halftime at 7 apiece. And we don't have a score yet from Upperman and DeKalb County. Sequatchie County all over Marion County, 21-6. And Powell just hammering Cumberland County at the half, 35-0, Gary. So Cumberland County's, their woes continue.
They do, and we saw last week it's going to be hard for them to be competitive. They've got to change some things offensively in order to move the ball. They couldn't move the ball at all last week. Looks like more of the same this week. out of the scores you mentioned, Gary, Upperman with a big win over Cookville last week, and looks like they could be a force in this region, and right there with maybe York and Sequatchie County. So it's going to be a good region. There's some good football to play.
Well, you got to also look at the fact that Cookville lost, they said, 18 starters from last year's team. So that's a lot of loss. But here they got Livingston tied at 7-7 now. Livingston's got a pretty decent squad.
Livingston does have a decent squad, and if you're Cookville, that's a big high school, Gary. You got to have talent there and kids ready to step in and play, and they didn't do it last week, and Upperman able to get the upset win.
So we have got a little more time put on the clock, so we're going to take a timeout and get some words in from our sponsors, and we'll be back for the start of the second half in just a moment.
Whether you're competing on the athletic field or working hard in the classroom, remember you have the support of First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. We're behind you 100% of the way. Good luck to all the area teams. Play tough and play fair. And remember, when it comes to helping you with your banking needs, we're First Volunteer Bank, the bank with personality. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And now over and over, it's First Volunteer for you.
Buying a new car should not feel like a scavenger hunt. First, you go from one dealership to look around.
I don't know.
Next, you go to another dealership clear across town for a test drive. And it's on down the street to the next dealership with the new incentive programs that could save you. And then it's back to the first dealership again. Hold it, there is a better way.
Yay!
At Casey's Frontier Chevrolet, you will find an incredible selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs to fit you and your budget. Casey's offers easy, no-hassle financing, and bad credit is no problem. If you have a credit score above 450 and $1,800 a month of provable monthly income, you are pre-qualified for a new Chevy starting at $259 a month. It's all in one place, all for you. So instead of spending your time and gas driving all over the place, come to one location where you can find it all. Casey's Chevy is just 12 miles north of Cookville on Highway 111, or browse the huge selection at Casey'sChevy.com. That's Casey'sChevy.com, the dealership in the cow pasture.
Stock number SP7285. Financing with approved credit. Some exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
And back here, we're getting set for the second half. And, Gary, you're going to get the football to start the second half. I don't know how much of a gambler the coach from Coalfield is, but you could possibly maybe, I don't know if I would maybe try an onside kick and see if I can get something started on my guys.
Well, in normal situations you might do that, Gary, but it's 7-0, and they've played pretty well, so especially on defense. So I look for them to kick this away and play defense, try to pin York back deep, and try to win some field position here.
So we'll see what Coalfield does here as they get ready to kick it off. York's got a couple of kids back to receive. It looks like I can't see the numbers from here. McKinney going to kick it off.
Looks like Miller's one, and maybe it's Drake. Drake's on this side. I believe it's Thomas Miller on the other side of the field.
Drake and Miller, so we'll see what they do here. As the Yellow Jackets going to kick it away. It's a 7-0 ball game just starting the second half. If you tuned in the first half, a lot of penalties, and Coalfield with 3 turnovers, York with 1. And the kick's going to be a low one. It's going to take a big hop up to Miller. Miller going to take it at the 25. He's up over the 30, up over the 40. He gets up all the way to almost field, and that's a great start for the Dragons in the second half, Gary.
Yeah, York had the blocking set up over there, Gary, and Coalfield didn't have enough defenders, and Miller able to skirt the sideline for about 20 additional yards there, and all the way up to the 47-yard line.
And they're going to say he stepped out of the 47. We've got some interesting marks tonight here. Maybe my eyesight's getting bad, Gary. I may be getting remolded, I think.
Well, he may have stepped out there. He got hit and knocked out of bounds. That's probably pretty close. It didn't look like he hardly made midfield, so.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at their own 47-yard line, just underway here in the second half. Has got Miller in motion. They're going to hand out to Miller. Miller left side. He's going to be hit immediately and driven back after he gets maybe a yard.
About 1 on the play there, Gary. So, a tough run for Miller. They crashed down on that and closed up all the gaps. Nowhere to run.
I would like to see maybe York come out with maybe a little screen pass to Phillips, the big tight end. They're dropping in. They're selling out on the run on York.
They are, and maybe some misdirection where you fake that run that way and then quarterback hang on to it, or give it to the back coming through the other direction.
And now you got number 21 coming through for York. He bounces off one, still on his feet, still driving. He's going to get a first down. Good job that time by Cade Brandon, and that's just some hard-nosed running by Brandon.
Yeah, somersaulted for that first down, Gary. Nice run by Brandon.
I would tell you, folks, we did the Crush game for CPTV last night. It's going to be shown on next Monday night. It'll be on at 6 o'clock. But I saw a little kid, Ben Hall. This kid couldn't weigh a buck. I mean, he couldn't weigh 100 pounds, and he was laying the licks and carrying people last night. That kid was amazing to watch. York's got some great kids coming up next year.
Yeah, they do, and, nice run by Brandon there.
And now they're going to hand off up the middle and going straight ahead. I believe that may be Cooper on the carry.
That is Cole Cooper on the carry.
Cooper picks up about a nickel on the first, and that's what you want with the wing offense, Gary, the wing T formation. You want those guys to get 5-6 yards of carry and just keep grinding it down the field till you wear the other team down.
Yeah, and York had been giving it to the first guy through quite a bit. Now we see them giving it to the second guy through here and getting a little yardage out of that, Gary.
So 2nd and 6. And they're going to hand it off this time and slipping, but keeping his balance and driving forward. The ball's on the ground, though, and that one I think should have been down by contact.
We'll see what the call is. There's a scrum at the bottom. I'm not so sure they're not calling it down by contact.
I think his forward momentum was down, but we'll wait and see. As one of York players is down, he's on his back, Gary, and they're piled on top of him, and it's still going to be York football.
Yeah, they're still fighting over it down there, it looks like, but going to be York football here, and it looks like it'll be third down, maybe 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6.
Oh,
no,
they're going to give him a couple of yards. Actually,
yeah,
I think they actually marked him down where he first touched down with his hand.
Yeah,
because he dove forward for a couple more yards, and
it's going to be about 3rd and 5. It looks like, Gary, from here, looking across the field, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6.
So it's going to be in motion this time. They're going to hand to Headings up the middle. Headings gets through the first one, still on his feet. And we got a flag on both sides of the fields as, folks, here comes a parade again.
Yeah, something at the line of scrimmage there. It came from both sides, Gary. That's probably, I imagine, this either offside or it'll be against York, but they didn't blow it dead, so.
False start by York, so they let the play run out, but it's going to back them up 5 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and probably I'm not sure what they're doing now.
Yeah, here they go. They're going to mark it back 5 now, I think. So,
and that's going to make it 3rd and about 9.
Yeah.
Illegal formation.
Yep, called them for illegal formation there, and I'm not sure if there were 2 men in motion there or if there wasn't somebody on the line of scrimmage.
I thought it might have been an illegal shift, but we'll see what York can do now. I got it 3rd and 9. They're going to keep it. This time, Leffew's going to keep it himself. He's going to get the first down and more. He lowers his shoulder and gets all the way up to the 27-yard line. And you got to be careful dropping that head down, Gary. Now you can get an offensive spearing in this game, and now they've changed that rule. So you got to be careful when you drop that shoulder.
Yeah, you do, and he did. He lowered the head right into McKinney. McKinney makes the tackle. Coalfield trying to tackle the ball, trying to rip that ball out, and did that to Lefty that time, and maybe allowed him to get a couple extra yards there.
Got the first down, so it's 1st and 10, just this side of the 30-yard line, the York side of it, and York will come up. They got Cooper in the backfield, I believe.
Yeah, it'll be Brandon on the left, and I believe it's Miller on the other side.
And got Brandon in motion, and this time the keeper by Lefew, he's going to be swallowed up, Gary, and he got nowhere on that one.
The line collapsed that time, Gary, and what happened is Lefew faked the Cooper and was going to turn it up and maybe give it to Brandon on the toss, and he just couldn't get rid of it. They had him wrapped up as soon as he faked the handoff.
So he got just back to the line of scrimmage, so he didn't lose any, but it's going to be 2nd and 10 now for the Dragons at the Yellow Jackets 30-yard line. And coming up will be Lefeview under center. Got a man in motion, hands it off to the second man through. That's Cooper. Cooper going to cut back inside. Cooper still on his feet all the way down to the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 Dragons as he gets inside the red zone.
Nice run by Cole Cooper. They're faking that handoff to the fullback and giving it to the wing coming through, Gary. And fullback, that time Josiah Headings, excellent block, opened the hole, and Cooper able to run through it.
It seemed like in that first half, Gary, they were trying more to skirt the outside, but they found out Coalfield's just as quick as maybe they are.
Well, they were trying to run between the guard and the tackle or outside the tackles, and now they're running more over the center or between the center and the guard, Gary, and they're getting positive yardage out of it.
And now in motion comes Cooper again, and Lefeview going to keep himself. Heads over the left side. He's headed for pay dirt. Touchdown, Dragons!
What a play by Lefeview, fake that, and he was already turning the corner before anybody knew he had it, Gary, and he just kind of walked into the corner of the end zone.
That's that misdirection play you called earlier, Gary, to a T.
Yeah, they faked that handoff, and everybody went with the running back, and this allowed him to skirt the corner for the end zone. What a drive by York.
And York puts 6 on the board, looking for 7 as the kick is up. The kick is good with 7:49 left to go in the third quarter. York takes a 14-0 lead.
In Coach Charles Vaughn's 17 years of coaching, he took his team to the state playoffs and led them in multiple district and bowl championships. His life modeled teamwork, integrity, and hard work. I'm Joey Vaughn, and this man not only was my dad, but he was my coach. I grew up learning these values, and they are a large part of what Meadowthrift Pharmacy is founded on. Come out and support our York football team.
York takes a 14-0 lead, Gary, and now that puts the pressure on the Yellow Jackets.
It does, and York doing just exactly what they needed to do. Got a good return, 53 yards on the drive, Gary, and a little over 4 minutes, and Lefeview takes it home for the touchdown. And, if you're York here with a little bit of lead now, they're going to throw a little more. You might be able to rush the gaps a little bit, shut down the run and put a little pressure on the quarterback low as well.
And so now it's going to be kicked off by Drake. Drake's going to kick this one. That one's going to be, or West, I should say, and that's going to shake out at about the 25-yard line. But that's going to be a penalty, Gary, and that will give the ball to the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it will. I'm sure they'll take that. And,
that moves it to the 30, am I right?
35, 30 or 35. 35, isn't it? No.
I'm not sure. You think I don't know would own a rule book, don't you?
I get them mixed up.
I do too. It's going to be at the 35. You were right. It's going to be the 35-yard line. Yeah. So that gives them about a 10-yard gain there on that one.
Yeah, it does. And that's kind of offside the foot again, Gary. Not the best of kickoffs, and gives Coalfield good field position.
And now we'll see what the Yellow Jackets can do. They saw York just run it down their throats on that last one. And so the Dragons now have a 14-0 lead, and the Yellow Jackets will see what they can do now as Bird comes up under center. Bird gets the snap, hands it to the second man through. He'll go straight ahead for about 3.
That was Anthony Foster on the carry, and good job by York to plug up the hole there and make the tackle.
I'm going to buy number 23 a chin strap. That boy loses his helmet every time, every play.
He's not afraid to hit him, but he's hitting with his helmet, and he's losing it a lot, Gary.
He's got to buy a better chin strap. 2nd and 6 now for the Yellow Jackets. They give him a generous spot there, about 4 yards on the carry. So it's going to be 7:18 left to go here in the third quarter. York on top, 14-0, as up will come Bird and his unit. Got the 3-man backfield. Takes the snap, hands it to the deep man. He's going to get a couple before he's brought down. And Gary, good defense by the Dragons again, especially Headings up the middle.
Yeah, it was. And that new ball carrier, that's Keegan White with the carry there. And York tripping him up at the line of scrimmage. He falls forward for a couple of yards, but it's 3rd down for Coalfield here. York needing a big stop, get off the field.
Get off the field and get the football right back. And another score by York, and that's really going to put the heat on the Yellow Jackets to try to get something going. As Bird will bring his unit up. There's still plenty of time, only down 14-0. As they'll call out the play now, York showing blitz, and here they come. And it's going to be batted up in the air, almost picked off. Good defense by the Dragons to get a hand on that one.
I believe that was Braden Wheeler, number 60, maybe got his hand on that, batted it down, Gary, and big play for York there. It looked like they may have had the play covered, although the seam guy, had maybe a step there, and maybe if the pass was perfect, he could have caught that.
And it would have had to been a great pass, but a good job by the Dragons to get a hand on it and almost had to pick off.
Yeah, they did. They had 3 or 4 guys in the area. Nobody could hardly get to it before it hit the ground.
So Drake now drop back to the 30-yard line, and it will be McKinney again to punt it away, and he's going to punt this one off, and that's going to take a big hop. Drake's going to take it on the hop, and Drake going to take it on the run, gets it up to the 30-yard line. So good job by Drake, as that was one of those he didn't let roll all the way down to the inside the 10, Gary.
He done what you've been asking him to do. He come up and fielded that ball. We got a flag down on the play.
Yeah, we got another surprise, another flag on the play.
But he come up and fielded that ball, made the first guy miss, and got some positive yardage out of that, Gary.
And that's something York can't allow, is just let it roll back and roll all the way down inside the red zone. And we're waiting on the official to make the call.
This is going to be against Coalfield.
Yeah, they're marking it off against Coalfield.
Going to be a 15-yarder, too.
That's an unsportsmanlike conduct, if I'm not mistaken. And Coalfield, that's another big penalty. That's one thing bad. If Coalfield gets a penalty, Gary, they do it right. They get a big one.
They play aggressively, and they push and shove a little bit after the play, and got caught on that one, Gary.
So that adds 15 more yards to what was just a 5-yard return, makes it a 20-yard return. And York with the football at their own 44-yard line. 6:13 left to go here in the third quarter. York on top 14-0. Got a man in motion. They'll hand it to Headings up the middle. Headings gets through the front line, gets all the way up to the 45 of Coalfield, and that's going to be another first down. And, Gary, that time Headings just got chopped low, or he would have been in the house.
Yeah, running hard, running up the middle, and nobody there, Gary. He was 12 yards before anybody got in his line of sight, and Foster making the tackle there, tripping him up. But good run, York on first down. We're seeing them start to establish a line of scrimmage here, Gary, and getting positive yards.
So we'll see what they do now as it comes up with 1st and 10 inside Yellow Jacket territory at the 45. They'll hand it off to Cooper. Cooper over the right side, going to pick up 8 before he is stopped. And, Gary, now York, like you said, starting to dominate that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're getting the block open the hole, Gary, and Cooper run through that. And, about 7 yards on that one, running hard, and that's what you got to do as the backs. The holes are starting to open up now.
And it's starting to eat the clock as well, and with a 14-0 lead, if York can march it down, punch it in here, it's going to be hard for the Yellow Jackets to come back because York's just grinding it out every time they get the ball.
They are, and, just they're getting 6-7 yards every play right now, Gary.
So up will come Miller, and Miller going to get the ball. Miller spins. He's going to stay on his feet. He's going to have the first down and more as he gets to about the 31-yard line, and that one was just all Miller time.
Yeah, it was. About 7 more there in a first down for York, and York on the roll right now.
And the clock keeps on ticking. We're down under 5 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. So York got another first down and on the move there in about the 34-yard line, 34-yard line.
They're running everything, and they're running it over the guard in the center, but that time they swung it outside over the tackle, and that was open too this time, Gary. So we're seeing holes everywhere now.
And now this time it's going to be left you on the keeper, and that one didn't fool anybody.
Yeah, and that was slow developing. Looked like he was going to drop back and then all of a sudden jerk forward. Didn't look like smooth, like there was a fake there, and kind of got wrapped up. A loss of about 4 on that one.
So now it's going to be 2nd and long for the Dragons. As they say, 2nd and 34. I don't believe it's that long.
2nd and 12 is what they're showing, I think, from the 34.
Yeah, so they're going to say it's 2nd and 12, so they gave him a couple-yard loss on that one, and now up will come the Dragons. They got 2 split out wide to the right.
Got Phillips out here, and, I'd like to see them use that once, like you were saying, Gary.
And this time they're going to delay handoff up the middle for York, and that's going to get to about the 32-yard line. Cooper with the carry, and Cooper had one of the Yellow Jackets grab the ball, and just because you got to hold the ball, it doesn't mean it's your ball.
That's right. That was number 55, Dylan Stewart, they're trying to strip the ball. They're trying to cause a turnover here. York doing a good job of ball protection, Gary.
11, third down and 11 now for the Dragons. They need to get to about the 20, or inside the 20, right about the 23-yard line. And this time they're going to give it out to Headings. Headings going to keep going forward, and now he's finally pushed back as he gets inside the 30. Gary, this is one of those situations where you're probably going to see York go for it.
I think you will. They're going to mark it just out right on the 30-yard line, Gary, and this will make it 4th and 8. And York, position here, 30-yard line, playing good on defense. You got to surely expect they're going to go for it.
If you're going to punt here, you'd have to punt toward the corner and try to get them coffin corner it, but I don't know how well they can do that. So it's going to be 4th down, and York's going to go for it. 4th and 8. Big play for the Yellow Jackets right here. As it'll be handed up the middle to Headings. Headings going to not get it. He got about 4 of them, still on his feet, and now he's going to finally be knocked down, but he's not going to get it. And the Yellow Jackets hold, Gary.
Yeah, they do. Good defense on 4th down there. Gave the quick hitter to Headings. He bounced it out on the left side through the A-gap and wrapped up quickly, though. Tried to bounce it outside, get away, but couldn't do it. And Coalfield going to take over on the 28-yard line.
With 2:26 left to go in the third quarter, you hate to say that was a must-stop for the Yellow Jackets, but it pretty much was.
Well, they needed to stop, Gary. I don't know if it's a must-stop yet, but they needed to stop there to take over and did so.
And so now, somebody jumped a little early on that one. Number 54 was already into the second line of York.
Snap count was, I don't know if the center didn't get it or what, because he had the ball and all the offensive line had moved. So late snap, it'd be a 5-yard penalty.
And you don't need that if you're the Coalfield Yellow Jackets because you're trailing 14-0, and you only got 2:24 to go here in the third quarter and one more quarter to play. So they need to not go backwards. But for York, that's a big advantage making a 1st and 15.
Yeah, it is. Backed them up 5 yards. It allows you to do some other things with the defense here as well, Gary.
They're going to split Ashton Jones out quickly to the right side. And there's that out to Jones. Jones trying to get outside stiff arms, but he gets leveled as coming over and putting the wood to him was Lefew. And Lefew drove him out of bounds with some authority on that one.
Yeah, hit him hard, knocked him out of bounds. The problem with that play, though, Gary, is Ashton Jones swung out here. He's their best ball handler, and there wasn't nobody within 8 or 9 yards of him.
A lot of cushion.
And nobody really covering over him. So you got to make sure you account for him.
And York almost playing as though they were afraid he was going to get by them if they played up close. And now York's showing blitz, and we're going to get a offsides on York, I believe, on that one.
Yeah, maybe York moved. I was up here signaling. I was hoping for the false start, but don't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
so York got him to jump.
I thought the right guard or right tackle moved first, and he did indeed. So
that'll back that thing up, and now it's going to be a 2nd and a long one for the Yellow Jackets again.
Yeah, it's going to make it 2nd and 13, Gary, and actually 2nd and more than that. It looks like, no, 2nd and 13. So
2nd and 13.
It's going to be backed up.
And the ball's
here
on the 66-yard line. Now they got 26-yard line. That's a little closer. And coming up will be the quarterback, Bird. Bird going to hand it off to the right side, and he's going to get about 3 yards back up to the 30. So they're almost, a little bit over the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's going to be about 3rd and 8 here, 3rd and 9, and, long yardage if York had, and certainly, put them in 3rd and long, make them passing downs, and then you can cover the receivers and blitz a little, do some different things.
But you can't let Jones over here on this left side have that big a cushion.
Yeah.
Because if you give him an 8-yard cushion, he'll get the extra yard.
They're going to go to him at some point, Gary. They have the freshman Dalton Barger over here covering him, and they're going to go to that at some point. It's man coverage.
And now he's going to look out, and they're going to throw to the other side, though, and that one is overthrown and almost picked off by Drake, but that one was a good 10 yards overthrown, Gary.
It was well overthrown, and great coverage over there. Drake, the safety, coming over on top to cover that. I believe it's Thomas Miller on the coverage there, but there's no way that McKinney was going to get close to that one.
McKinney would have had to have been Hussein Bolt to call that one. Now it's going to be 4th down, and the Yellow Jackets going to punt it away again. And we've got $1:19 left to go here in this third quarter. So York now needs to get in and get one of those long drives like we saw against Cumberland County.
Oh, yeah, and, this might be the last punch you see from Coalfield tonight, depending upon the situation.
And Headings almost got a hand on that one, and that one's going to hit and roll. And there's going to be another good punt all the way back to the 25-yard line. Their kicker, Gary, not getting a lot in the air. McKinney not getting a lot in the air, but he's getting a lot on the roll.
He is 46 yards on that punt, Gary, and it'll be York's ball on their own 25-yard line.
I think if on the next one, if they do punt again, Gary, I'm going to bring Drake up a little bit closer because he's not hitting it that deep in the air. He's just he's line driving it, and maybe come up and maybe try to get it caught in the air.
You might try that. You want him to be. You think you want to be more aggressive. I don't watch practice and don't see everything that's going on, but you would like to think you'd be more aggressive fielding that punt, but for some reason they're not, and it's worked out for them.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at their own 24-yard line. They got a man in motion. They're going to Lefty's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be spun down and knocked right down to the line of scrimmage.
He probably should have pitched that one. He had Miller as the pitch man, and Miller maybe one guy to beat. Maybe the edge guy gets out there, but that's one Lefty probably should have pitched rather than kept, Gary.
But Hensley got in there quick on that one, Gary. He didn't have a whole lot of time. He was hit pretty quick. Sometimes maybe in that situation, I didn't see it well enough, but sometimes when you're going down, the pitch is not your best friend.
Yeah, it is, and they're not filling all the gaps, but they are crashing in places, and the slower the play develops for York, the more penetration they're getting through the line.
2nd and 11, and they're going to let the clock run down. We're down to 21 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. As this time they're going to toss it out to the right side, and coming up, losing the football, but falling on it is York at the 26-yard line.
Brandon on the carry, he fumbled it, and it was actually recovered by Miller. Miller on the recovery.
Good job by Miller to pick it up.
That landed right at him, Gary. Glad it did. They're pretty deep in Coalfield territory here.
Third quarter is over, and at the end of 3, it's York 14, Coalfield nothing.
With Twin Lakes Future-Proof Fiber Network, experience the gig difference. With up to 1,000 megabits per second, everything's different. Connect as many devices as you'd like and stream videos without buffering. Music and photos fly, gaming gets real, and nobody's left hanging. That's the gig difference with Twin Lakes. Call or online at twinlakes.net to get your gig today. Some restrictions apply. Speed's not available in all areas.
Right now at Pizza Hut.
Get 2 medium, 2 topping Pizza Hut pizzas.
For just $5.99 each.
The perfect pair.
At the perfect price.
Order however you want.
Delivery or carry out.
Call or click.
Get one for me.
And me.
Or just you and yours.
Everyone gets what they want.
So get your perfect pair now.
2 medium, 2 topping pizzas.
Just $5.99 each.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Ask for this offer. Additional charge for extra cheese, select crust types, and additional toppings. Product availability, prices, participation, delivery areas, and charges. A minimum purchase required for delivery may vary. Delivery charge is not a driver tip.
Gary, we're through 3 quarters now, and York getting 1 score in this quarter. Scoring's been at a premium here tonight.
Yeah, it has. Probably the most important stat in this quarter, though, Gary, is York outgains Coalfield. York 87 yards total offense, and Coalfield only with 18 in that third quarter. And York one time of possession in that quarter as well. But, pretty dominating quarter by York, even though there's only 7 points put on the scoreboard. This is a defensive game and a lot of defensive plays, and York starting to control the line of scrimmage, doing a good job moving the football.
And York's got to hang on to the football now. It's 3rd down and 8 for the Dragons. Got a man in motion. They'll fake it, and this time Lefty's going to roll out, got a rush. Lefty's going to tuck it and run. He's got a whole lot of real estate as he heads down the right sideline. He gets up over midfield, to about the 49-yard line, and that time, Gary, the rush, he avoided the rush, and that right side was wide open.
Yeah, they rushed from the right side, so when he tucked it and ran, there was nobody on the left, Gary, and he was able to run a long way before somebody could get over there, and they have it in Coalfield territory once again. Nice run by Landry Cliffview. No, he realized quickly the route wasn't there and just pulled it down and took off, saw open daylight.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 Dragons inside Coalfield territory, just inside of it, as up will come Lefeview after that big run. Lefeview under center's got a man in motion. Going to hand it off to the second man through, and he's going to break a tackle. He's headed to the outside, bouncing the outside down to the 30. That's Miller all the way down to the 6-yard line, 7-yard line before they run him out. And Miller time again, Gary. He just got on the outside, and once he did, he kicked in the afterburners.
Well, they ran the same play, Gary, and they had a little gap to the outside that time. He ran through it and ran down. It's actually the 12-yard line, but he ran it all the way down the 12-yard line. A lot of daylight on that play. Nice play by the York offensive line and the fullback Headings to open the hole.
Miller's having a great
37 yards
37.
on that run. So
that's a good run by Miller, and Miller's having a good night tonight. Miller's bucking for our player of the game, I think.
Yeah, I believe he's the leader in the clubhouse right now,
He's got 100 yards rushing, so he hit the 100-yard mark, hit the century mark already.
Every time he's had the ball tonight, he's had some daylight, Gary. Maybe once he didn't, but most of the time he did, and York in business again.
And it's going to be at the 12-yard line. As Headings gets the ball, he's going to bang inside the 10 to the 9, and that's just hard running by Josiah.
Yeah, bouncing off a couple of people, getting 2 or 3 yards there, Gary. Nice run by Headings. More importantly, ball control, and that clock's going to keep running.
And that's the biggest enemy of the Yellow Jackets right now, Gary, is that clock just keeps ticking.
Yeah, it does. Time's moving, and York's knocking on the door here. They push us in. It's a 3-touchdown lead, and Coalfield virtually going to have to throw it on every down, Gary.
And even a field goal here gives you a 3-score lead, and that's going to make it tough with less than a quarter to play, actually less than 11 minutes to play now. As up comes Lefeview. Lefeview got a man in motion, going to hand it up to Headings right up the middle, banging straight ahead. The jackhammer gets to the goal line before he's brought down.
So it's going to be at the 2, Gary. So nice run by Headings. Couple of runs here. He's gotten going to be about 3rd and 1 here, but he's got 9 yards on 2 carries. More importantly, they're running clock.
And getting knocked down at the 1-yard line didn't help Coalfield a bit, because had he got in, at least they would have got the ball back now. But now it's going to take another move.
They're going to measure this, Gary, so it's pretty close to a first down.
I think he's got the first down. I might be wrong, but it sure looks like he's got the first down here.
Well, it looked like it was marked at the 12, and if it was, that's really close. He's right at the 2-yard line.
I'm going to say he's got it by the length of the ball.
We'll see how you predict from 60, 70 yards away.
Oh, my gosh, I'm the Nostradamus of football, folks.
He had it by the whole
football.
I
told you. Oh, Vegas, here I come, baby.
I don't know if I'm riding on your back yet.
So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 2-yard line, and the Dragons now, Gary, just right now just need to punch it in here.
Yeah, they do. They've got the weapons to do it. They can quick hit the fullback. They could do a couple other things here. If you could keep it, they have a lot of options, and more importantly, clock on their side.
And they got Josiah Headings in the backfield as, they're going to watch the clock. Now, the good thing is here at Coalfield High School, you got the clock you can look at, and Landry Lefeview's watching it tick away now, and now he's going to get under center, and they'll snap it in about 6 seconds, and Lefeview going to keep it and dive straight ahead for a touchdown, Dragons!
Nice job. He faked the handoff, Gary, and just turned it up. Run over the last guy to get in the end zone. Probably should have got a late hit there. He got clocked there at the end of that, and after the whistle had blown with no penalty, and your touchdown, York.
So now Johan West will come in to try to tack on the extra point. Johan 2 for 2 tonight. And he's 3 for 3 as the Dragons take a 21-0 lead with 10:08 to play in the game.
Ventures Farmers Co-op, happy to be a proud sponsor of York Dragon football. We wish you a winning season. Every game is a success when you have played your best. Ventures Farmers Co-op bringing you quality products from feed, seed, and fertilizer to automotive, to animal health and pet products, to gas, diesel, and propane, to clothing and boots for the family and the gift shop. All this and much more at Ventures Farmers Co-op, 1219 Old Highway 127 South, Jamestown. Go Dragons!
Well, York's starting to grind it down now, Gary, and they're up now by 3 scores. That's going to be tough for the Yellow Jackets with 10:08 left to go. You're going to have to score and get the ball back, score and get the ball back, score and get the ball back.
Yeah, you are. And, great drive from York. 7 plays, 76 yards, 3 minutes off the clock. Ends with the left view touchdown. And York in control right now and looking good doing it, Gary. You got to think Coalfield's got to throw the ball now. And York's kind of going to pin back and go after the quarterback for Coalfield, Bird.
Bird's been hit a few times tonight, but now he's got a good arm.
If he's got time, he's been able to throw it, Gary. York's limited his time, though.
And Josiah will kick this one off all the way back to the 15-yard line. And coming up with it is McKinney, and McKinney's still on his feet up to the 26-yard line. And good job by McKinney to avoid that first tackler. And now we got a flag on somebody.
I'm afraid this one might go. I'm not sure. I thought I saw York maybe throw the last barb there, but they're talking it over, and
we'll see what the call is. The official coming over to make it now.
Yeah, it's going to be against York.
And they're going to march it off against York, I believe. No, we'll see. Personal foul, York. So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. I didn't see the actual play, Gary. I missed it.
It happened late, Gary, whatever happened. And the flag came in late, so it's a 15-yard penalty, and it moves it out to the 44-yard line where Coalfield will take possession here.
That's one thing Coach Derwin Wright won't be happy with tomorrow. As now the snap, they're going to pitch it out and trying to get outside. Going to be knocked down maybe for a half-a-yard gain. And Gary, you're surprised they're running the football down 3 scores with under 10 minutes to play.
Well, that was low on the carry, and I am a little surprised. They have not used Jones, their bread and butter guy, much here in the second half, and instead low on the carry. The play, Bryce Slavin on the tackle there, so second and long.
Bryce has had a good night tonight. He's come up with some big plays for the Dragons defense. Here we go now as Bird comes up. He's got 3-man backfield. And now Bird's going back to talk to his back. And he'll get under center. And now we got 2 men in motion, so the Coalfield Yellow Jackets going to back up like the French Army, Gary. They're going in reverse.
Yeah, that penalty on Jonathan Woodward, and he hadn't had the best of nights, Gary. He's lost his helmet 3 or 4 times and then called for the penalty there.
So now that backs him up.
Oakland 21, Maryville 17.
Ooh, that's a good ball game. Maryville and Oakland playing tonight. I think that's 1 and 2 in the state going at each other.
Yeah, Oakland nationally ranked was trailing at halftime, taking the lead 21-17 here by late in the fourth quarter against Maryville tonight.
And that one probably being broadcast somewhere, I'm sure. As now here comes the Yellow Jackets back up. Bird takes the snap. Bird looking. He's cut off one direction, cut off another direction. Will cut back inside and get up to the 40 and be dropped right at the line of scrimmage by the big guy. The jackhammer Josiah Hiddings wrapped him up and dropped him like a bad habit.
He did. He scrambled one way and it's closed off. Scrambled back the other way. Looked like he's going to have a little bit of running room, Gary, and Hiddings closed that up quickly.
And so now it's going to be 3rd down and really long for the Yellow Jackets. And, Gary, Yellow Jackets are pretty much in 4-down territory from here on out if they want to get back in this one.
They are, and, I'm surprised they're not throwing the ball, Gary. When they dropped back and had some time, they completed some passes, and York has done a great job of taking that away from them, so much that they've not been back to pass, and since I can remember, they've dropped back for a pass.
So now it's going to be, back goes the quarterback, Bird. He's going to throw it. Got a man downfield, and that's incomplete. York hit him just as the ball got there. Good defense by the Dragons.
Nice job. That was number 1, Daniel Barger, on the play there. And
his name is Barger.
Yeah, we got it right this time.
He told me the other day at the store that his name is Barger, not Barger, so I'm going to get that right. Attaboy, Dan. Attaboy, Barger.
But, come in late to hit on McKinney there. Pass high, even if he'd have caught it, Barger was there to clean it up.
And I think he's going to drop back to return the punt now. He's a freshman for this squad.
Yeah, it's him deep, and they're in punt formation. Maybe a little surprised here considering where the ball is, Gary.
And McKinney's back. McKinney's going to roll out, and he's going to punt that one. Whoa, that was...
I believe that was tipped by Headings, maybe. It wasn't blocked. I think he maybe got just a fraction of it.
If it wasn't, that was only about a 10-yard kick.
York coaches are yelling. They got an awful spot out of this. This was horrible. It's where it goes out of bounds.
Wow.
It's not where it lands, and it cost York about close to 10 yards there, Gary.
I thought you were supposed to walk vertical, not horizontal.
That was a bad call.
We may have to give that guy a sobriety test. He couldn't walk a straight line to save his life right now. It's 1st and 10 now, though, for the Dragons at the 44-yard line, and they just need to run the clock out, Gary. We're down to 7.5 minutes left to go, and we got timeout called by York as they got a late substitution in. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back.
He's on the 30. He's on the 20. He's on the 10. It's a touchdown.
There's nothing like football. The lights, the cheers of the crowd, and getting a chance to see our local athletes and kids give it all they've got. Come to a game. Support our local schools. Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union, a better way to bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at ucfcu.org.
Well, York now with a first down and 10 to go, Gary, and we've got 7:33 left to go in this one. And York now just in command of this one.
They are, it's going to be run, control clock, try to run this out, get out of here, and, got it at their own 44-yard line after the bad punt and even the favorable spot. And, York going to come out here and work clock, and they're going to run it just right at the teeth of the Coalfield defense.
Upperman 29, DeKalb County nothing.
And we just heard that Upperman beating DeKalb County 29-0 at the half. That should be late in the fourth quarter there, as well as up comes the Dragons now. They got in motion Cole Cooper. He's going to cut back inside, and he's going to pick up about 4.
Nice run by Cole. Didn't look like he had solidly, but got a hold on it and got about 4 yards out of it.
And more importantly, Gary, that time keeps on ticking into the future for all you Steve Miller fans out there. And we've got second down and about 7 for the Dragons.
Another score of interest.
And
third quarter, Greenback 56, CAK 20.
It's going to be York coming up with 2nd and 7 from their own 47-yard line.
York just taking their time here, getting up the line of scrimmage. They won't get into the set mode till less than 10 seconds here, Gary.
Yeah, and they've got a big clock, so you can see it real well. They're going to hand it off this time to Miller, and Miller going to dance across midfield for a couple more yards.
Yeah, nice run by Miller. Looked like he's caught in the backfield, got away. He's made the first guy miss all night long, Gary. Made that one miss and able to turn that up for 2 or 3 yards and make it a manageable third down here for York.
And they mark him back behind the 50. So I'm not sure on that one. I thought that one he made it past the 50-yard line, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be third down. And we're down to 6 minutes left to go, and it's going to be under 6 minutes when York snaps this one. And leading 21-0. Lefty will just stand there and watch, and now he'll get under center. Lefty got a man in motion in Cooper, and they drop the football, and
Coalfield's got it, I
Coalfield
believe,
come
Gary.
up with that one. It will be Coalfield's football just across the midfield stripe on their side of the field. So Coalfield gets a break, Gary.
Yeah, Austin Hensley on the recovery there, but that ball never connected, Gary. You know, Lefeview tried to make the handoff. It just didn't happen, and landed on the ground, and Coalfield quick to jump on it.
That's York's second turnover of the night, Gary.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to be sloppy here, even with a 21-0 lead, and that was a little bit of sloppy football there, Gary, that caused the turnover.
And now it's going to be up will come Bird. Bird under center. He's going to throw the quick out over number 24. He tries to turn the corner, and he stopped and rocked. And that one's going to be Lefeview, and Lefeview raises his hand, gets the crowd fired up. And the York faithful across the way, there's a bunch of them that are fired up after that hit by Lefeview.
Yeah, nice play by Lefeview, and he did. He hit him hard and put him down. Maybe a loss of a half yard there, Gary. So it's second and long for Coalfield, and no, they complete a pass, a little flip pass there to the back, out of the backfield.
And going to have a
I believe he's hurt. That's Foster, and that was the ball carrier, and they're going to have.
Yeah, he's a little wobbly. They're going to have.
Yeah.
He is really staggering and coming off the field. I hope this young man's okay, as they're going to walk him off the field.
Yeah, and he's patting him on the head, and he's having a hard time getting left foot, right foot right now, Gary.
He's a little wobbly. He looks like a Ronda Rousey in her last fight.
Yeah, he got rocked pretty good over there, Gary.
So now it's going to be second down and 10 as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. And now Bird will come up. Bird going to roll this time to his right. Now he's going to cut back in. He's looking for somebody, throws it out in the last second. There's number 5 with the reception, and he's going to get close to a first down.
Yeah, the pass complete to Lowe, and for York it was Landrick Lefeview and Johan West to clean it up there. But, he scrambled around long enough to get the pass completed, and, third and short for Coalfield now.
I'm not sure what grade this young man is, but, Gary, he looks like he's going to be a heck of a player. If he's not a senior, by the end of this season, he should be a heck of a ball player.
He's a junior, so they're a junior-dominated team. They only have 7 seniors. Of course, they only dress 34 kids, so they don't dress a whole lot.
And now they're going to hand it up the middle, and they're going to get the first down as they bang it up to the 36-yard line of York.
That was Jonathan Woodward on the carry. He didn't lose his helmet on that one, Gary. He picked up the first down.
So Woodward able to get I must have got him a new chin strap sometime since his last play, because he's lost his helmet almost every play out here tonight. First and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets at the York 36-yard line.
First and 10 Yellow Jackets, ball on the 36.
York, they're getting some pieces of yardage right now. York going to stiffen up here to see if they can make a stop, Gary.
And so up will come the quarterback, Bird. Bird going to pitch it to the right side. He trying to come back in as Lau, and Lau's going to be, or Lowe is going to be dropped. Lau, they call him Lau here. That's you get that. It's spelled Low, but like Lowe's, but it's Lau in some places.
Yeah, it is, and if you don't say it right, they get mad about it.
That's the truth. In Fentress County, the south end, it's Lau, and the north end, it's Low. So here it is Lau, evidently.
Coalfield not in a big hurry here, Gary. They're running 20, 25 seconds clock every play.
They're Gary, it looks like they're at the point right now where they're going to just concede this is going to be a loss, and they're just working to get ready for next week, maybe.
Maybe they are, and, you look like you'd be a little more sense of urgency here, try to move the ball down the field.
Bird takes off. Bird's looking, and he gets leveled as he lets it go. As Josiah Headings just went in and leveled him back at the 41-yard line.
If it wasn't him, it was going to be Cole Cooper, because they both dove at him, and Headings hit him first. But they were both there, and they both took a clean shot at him.
Now, that's something we didn't see last week. Headings didn't play the other side of the ball last week. He was coming off that vertigo, and he didn't play but one way as offensively last week. But this week, he's playing both sides of the ball.
Well, he played a little on defense. He didn't play much, though, Gary, and he's playing a lot tonight, and he's made a difference. They already have Lefeview and Cooper as 2 of their linebackers. You put him in the middle there, and it cures a lot of ills, him and Ben Cooper.
And now it's going to be Bird rolling out. Bird's looking. He's throwing deep, and he threw that in a little too deep as that one went in the cheap seats. That's going to give the ball back to York as that was a 4th down play. And now York, Gary, just pretty much just has to sit on it. 2:52 left to go. Not much left in this one to be determined.
Yeah, good play by York. And, you get Coalfield out here. I believe this is the 4th down play, Gary.
Okay,
actually.
they're getting over the 4th.
Yeah, they moved the clock too quick on you there. But, against teams maybe not of York's caliber, they probably throw it around a little more and complete more passes. York's done a good job, covering the receivers tonight, making it tough for Coalfield.
And they've also got some great pressure until this time. They didn't get much pressure on the quarterback, and he's going to connect all the way down to about the 15-yard line.
Going to mark it about 17. That was complete to Ashton Jones there on 4th down. He, the quarterback just kind of worked around there until Jones worked the seam, got open, complete the pass.
So now the Yellow Jackets are in the York's red zone, Gary, and they're in the red zone. I think, their first time in the red zone tonight.
I believe it is, Gary, and York's done a good job. Hadn't give up any points this year, Gary, and we're, about through 8 quarters here. So York wanting to bow down, make the plays.
And here comes the Yellow Jackets. They'll hand it off up the middle, and that's fighting straight ahead. And getting a few yards is, looks like
Woodward on the carry.
Woodward.
He got about 4 on that one.
So the clock keeps ticking. We're down to 2:15 left to go, and the Yellow Jackets, Gary, just look like they're trying to put a score on the board. They realize that they're not going to get 3 scores.
No, they're trying to score here, and, York wants to keep them off the scoreboard, Gary.
So it will be the Yellow Jackets come back up. They got it 2nd and about 5 for the first down. As Roland is Bird, he's going to cut back inside, and he's going to be dropped right in about the 9-yard line.
Yeah, at the 9-yard line, going to be 3rd and about 2 here for Coalfield.
So it's going to be 3rd down, and they're going to show about 4, so they marked him back a little farther than we thought as well.
Yeah, marked him back to the 10-yard line, actually, Gary.
And it's going to be 3rd and 2 as we're down under a minute and a half left to go in this one. A couple more plays by the Yellow Jackets, and that should be it. York going to improve to 2-0 on this season early before they head into district play next week with Grundy County. And they're going to head off, and it's dropped. I believe, the quarterback able to hang on to it, and he has dropped back. And we got about a minute left to go in this one before the ball be snapped. Will be under a minute left to go. Gary, next week, York opens district season, first home game of the year.
Yeah, they do. Grundy County coming in, and, big district game, a region game. You want to get started off on the right foot here. And, York off to a 2-0 start and has looked good through the first 2 games.
And, Gary, also, all you have to win, I'll put it this way, in the region that York's in, you've got to win 2 games and you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, and, it's a tough region. There's some teams with some football tradition and heritage in there and some good football teams. So York going to have to come play every night.
23 seconds left to go, 4th down and about 2 as they try to get outside, and that's going nowhere as the jackhammer puts the exclamation mark on it as he slings him down, and that is Headings throws him all the way back to the 17-yard line, Gary, and York just has to snap the ball, and this ball game's over.
That was doomed from the start, Gary. They tried to run a little pitch to the right side and then tried to swing it out, and York spread it out. They had spread out good, and then Josiah bust through one of the gaps and just cleaned it up, and, that wasn't going anywhere. And great play by York, just a great defensive effort from them tonight.
So York getting ready to snap the ball for the last time. They're going to get in the V formation, and that is one more snap with 17.1 seconds to go. York going to shut out the Coalfield Yellow Jackets as kneeling down is Lefeview, and that's going to be your ball game. The York Dragons win here tonight. Your final 21-0, a big win by the Dragons.
Keeping your comfort in mind. Call 879-5909. Conditioned heating and cooling.
Is it so hot in your home that your family is playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets dibs on the freezer? Then it's time to call us. With 24/7 emergency service and a full line of energy-efficient American Standard heating and air conditioning equipment, we've got you covered this summer, so you can use your freezer for what it's really meant for. Call for a free quote today.
Over 80% of business owners say loyal customers are the keys to a successful business. At Hall Family Pharmacy, we appreciate our loyal customers and want to thank you by offering you a copay pass. With the Hall Family Pharmacy Customer Loyalty Program, come by the pharmacy and pick up a punch card. Every time you fill a prescription, you will get a punch on the card. When the card is full, bring it in and get your copay pass. It's a simple way for us to say thank you for your business. So stop by Hall Family Pharmacy to get your Customer Loyalty Program punch card today.
Like a great sports team needs a great captain to lead them, a county needs a great executive to move it forward. And Fentress County has it in Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy believes in this county and its endless possibilities. So for great sports and a great county, be like County Executive Jimmy Johnson and back Fentress County all the way.
Keeping your comfort in mind. Call 879-5909. Conditioned heating and cooling.
Is it so hot in your home that your family is playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets dibs on the freezer? Then it's time to call us. With 24/7 emergency service and a full line of energy-efficient American Standard heating and air conditioning equipment, we've got you covered this summer, so you can use your freezer for what it's really meant for. Call for a free quote today.
And back here where York comes away with a 21-0 win over Coalfield. Gary, York 2-0 on the season. Good-looking start, especially defensively.
Really it was. Held Coalfield to 97 total yards tonight and, under 100 yards for the second straight week. That defense is playing stout, Gary, and when they did have a chance to make a play here at the end, it just, York kept them out of the end zone.
And a great job by the Dragons as they was able to make that stop when they needed to on big plays. I mean, there was some plays where the Yellow Jackets, Gary, had it fourth and maybe one or something, and York able to shut them down.
Yeah, they were. Several fourth down stops. None bigger than that last one, Gary. They had 4th and 3 right at the 10-yard line, and York able to crash through the line, get the back for a loss there, and kneel down in the game. So great effort from York.
So York comes away with a win. It's time now for the Progressive post-game show. Let's take a word from Progressive Savings Bank, and then we'll be back with more from Coalfield High School.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
Well, back here where, Gary, we have York winning here tonight. Take a look at some stats from this game here tonight.
Well, just to look at the stats, Gary, York outgains Coalfield 279 to 97. York actually 15 first downs. Coalfield only 8 first downs on the night. York 260 yards rushing on 48 attempts. Coalfield 73 yards on 29 attempts. York 1 of 4 through the air for 21 yards and the 1 interception. Coalfield 8 of 18 for 82 yards and 2 interceptions. So, once again, a good job by York, defensively closing it down and, getting enough points on the board, 3 touchdowns to win the game. Look at it individually, it was Thomas Miller, 9 carries for 103 yards, and Cole Cooper, 13 carries, 50 yards and a touchdown. Josiah Headings, 9 for 46. Landrick Lefeview 10 for 44 and 2 touchdowns. Kay Brandon 3 for 13. Ben Cooper 3 carries, 6 yards. Receiving, it was Josiah Headings with the catch for 21 yards. Looking at defensively, Gary, the leading tackler on the night was Landrick Lefeview, 11 total stops and a couple of big ones. He hit a couple of kids pretty hard there.
Yeah, he had number 24 left the game after, or 34, I believe it was left, or was it 34 or 24?
24.
24 left
it was
the game.
Foster that left
Yes,
the game.
He got leveled over there, and he had to be helped off the field, and we hope he's going to be okay. Gary, this kind of dominance that York has had in these first 2 games, if they can keep this defensive pressure rolling like they've been, this could be a team that's going to be hard to stop as the season progresses.
Well, I think defense sets the tone, and they're playing some really good defense right now, Gary. They're swarming to the ball. They're filling the gaps. They, when Coalfield completed a couple of passes tonight, they just took it away from them. And, that's what good teams do. They take away what you're doing well, and York able to do that tonight. And, it's impressive to hold a team like this to less than 100 yards. They're a single-A school, but they have a rich football heritage. They're a good football team, and York made them not look so good tonight.
And they had 3 takeaways as well. So that, as they say, folks, defense wins championships. I'm sounding like my grandfather now.
And it's very true. It sets the tone, and, the offense is a benefit here, and not a great deal of offense tonight. We looked at about close to 300 yards total offense, but York, most importantly, 21 points, 21-0 win. They scored when they had to, and they got some big scores and took control of the game really in the third quarter, Gary.
And you talk about momentum. This is a great momentum builder headed into district action next week. That's going to be a big district or region game. In basketball, it's district, and football, it's region. So I'll get that straight by the time the season's over. I'll get that right. But it's huge, and it's one of those things that you can continue to build off of.
Really, it is, and York doing a good job getting off to a good start against these non-region opponents. Fall into region play next week, and it's Grundy County first, and then the others to come. And, there's some good football teams in this region. So looks like Upperman's got a good team. We know Livingston's got a good team. Sequatchie County will have a good team. Smith County have a good team. So
not sure how Grundy County did, but they won their first game of the season.
Yeah, they did. New coach down there, former UT football player, taking over the reins down there, and he's promised a different attitude from them, and certainly it will be interesting to see them up at York next Friday night.
And that's going to be a big one. That's a region contest, Gary. As we said, in this region, this region has got a lot of teams, but not as many as some of the other. You only have to win 2 games to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, you really want to win enough to win that region, though. You
want to be one of the top 2 in hose.
You want to get some games at home if you can too, and that's the way you do it. You win your region. Start with. You don't want to go on the road and play one of these Chattanooga teams in the opening round of the region. It means you got to win those games. But there's still a lot of football to play, and it's really Grundy County is the first one up here, and that's who York's got to concentrate on next week.
So it's going to be York and Grundy County next week. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to talk with Coach Derwin Ryan. Hopefully he'll get on over here and we'll get a chance to talk to him. We're going to take a time out for a word from Progressive Savings Bank. We'll be back here in just a moment. Here in a few minutes, we'll have our Halls player of the game. So don't go anywhere.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
Back here on the Progressive postgame show, and still waiting on Coach Derwin Ryan. And Gary, we talked about it earlier, a big win here for York tonight. I was trying to see if I could find some scores for us, but
it was a big win for York tonight, and, it'd be interesting. Looked like most of the region foes were winning again tonight, Gary. So, a lot of teams off to a good start in this region, and, York one of them. Very impressive from the Dragons for the first two games, playing solid defense and scoring points and looking good doing it, and, good job by York.
And looking at the score, we see not a good night for the Bobcats. As Pekin County trailing 41-21 or 41-12 at the end of the first half. So they were off to a 1-0 start, looking for their first ever two-game winning streak. But don't look like that's going to happen tonight. As we look, let's see, Stone Memorial was well ahead of Scott High. And let's see, Cumberland County losing tonight 42-0. And just a big night for York here. York winning 21-0. And I'm trying to see if we can find some of the scores from our other teams we'll be playing this week in this season. But my fingers aren't quick enough. We see Smith County lost to Gordonsville. That's kind of a stunner, as Smith County losing to Gordonsville tonight. That's one of those rivalries that really gets ugly. I mean, for two teams out of the same county, that really gets ugly.
Yeah, and Gordonsville lost their opener last week, so they were 0-1. A big win for them to beat Smith County tonight. And, that you wonder how that favors for York here in 2 or 3 weeks when Smith County comes to town.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game when those two meet this season. And I think we see Coach Derwin Wright making his way over here. So we'll take a break and get a quick word from Progressive Savings Bank, and then we'll be back with Coach Derwin Wright right after this.
Cheer this year for all our school teams and activities. Get behind our local schools. Join the parent-teachers group and help improve the quality of education. Sponsor school activities. Go to a ball game, hear a concert, reach higher. Progressive Savings Bank, insured by FDIC.
Everything we do, it's true. We do for you.
And back here now with Coach Derwin Wright. And, Coach, a big win here tonight. Your defense, second shutout in a row.
Defense played great. Turnover battle was the big key. And, honestly, if we can clean some things up, we've been up at least 14 at the half, maybe even 21. But, getting an interception 10 yards behind the ball, block somebody in the back. Just can't do it. But defense played great, won the turnover battle. Knew it was going to be a physical ball game, and our guys, I think they just stuck in there and just kept hitting. And at the end, I think we just ended up out physicaling them.
Coach, a big night for Thomas Miller. He had maybe a breakout game tonight.
Thomas is starting to really run with patience, seeing it. He's got speed, but sometimes you got to throttle down, give you a chance to set up blocks. And I thought that second half twice on an outside Liz play, he just did a great job of seeing everybody was fighting out, flying out, turning up behind his guard and getting 8, 10, 12 yards on it. And times that were crucial and we needed it.
Coach, this game, a big one for you guys. You're now 2-0. Great headed into district play. You got a big district game coming up next week.
Big district game, Grundy, first home game. Real pleased. Landrick Lefeview tonight, offensively and defensive, just led his troops. Josiah Headings, he's doing a great job. Cole Cooper, the offensive line. And some guys on the D line. Braden Wheeler, he's really coming on as a DN. Daedric Phillips, he got a player of the week last year. Daedric's playing very, very, very smart on the defensive end. And our secondary's starting to gel too. We're doing a much better job there. And just really proud of the defense, the coaches, what they're doing, and just a big win for us early in the season.
One dark spot on it, I guess, was a couple of turnovers and a lot of penalties.
A lot of just, unnecessary penalties. They're always catch the second guy, and I told them, it's going to be a physical ball game. There'll be some stuff go on, but what you got to play is you got to play the shoulder pads, you got to play the head, you got to, let the scoreboard do your talking, and we've got to clean that up. We got to grow up on that, and I think that might have helped us a little bit to have a game like this. But again, we just out hit them in the end and won the turnover battle. We had one, but we got 3 or 4. So proud of the secondary, 2 picks in this game. One really should have been a pick 6, but like I said, we just made a dumb block and one that is just unnecessary and should not happen.
Coach, you started the game on the first play. Bryce Slavin come in and laid a hit. That kind of set the tone for the entire ball game.
We did, and we told them that was important. This is a program that's proud, and they're physical. And I said, it's going to come out a team that really gets physical and sets a tone. And defensively, I think we did it. Offensively, we struggled a little bit again, like we did last week in the first part, but made some adjustments and got some things going.
Coach, what do you know about the Yellow Jackets of Grundy County? You're going Yellow Jacket. New coach
and staff. Don't know really anything right now. We'll make film trades and make some calls and start planning for them. But you got to do it one game at a time, and we'll basically start on them Saturday morning when we get a film and start seeing what they're made of. But I don't really know what to expect. I know they won their first game. I don't know what to do tonight, but new coaching staff. They had some turmoil last year with some things that happened, and they're getting that first win definitely is going to be a plus for them. And we don't know what they're doing, but we're just going to have to get the film and look at it and get ready.
Coach, I forgot to ask you how you feeling tonight.
Well, I'm better. I'm still not completely over it, but I'm better, and winning helps. But twice this week we're out in the middle of practice and it opens up and rains and you get wet and then the sun comes back out, and when you're sick and struggling with sickness. But we've had some kids struggling with it too, and we're just all trying to work together and stay hydrated and get better.
And we're glad to see that the fair didn't cause any problems.
No, and that it's great. Fire week so far has been great. I know everything that's went on, and I think our kids listened to me and thought about Thursday night, and didn't leave their game over at the fair. And it's like I told them tomorrow night, go over and stay as long as you want and have a great time, and we'll watch film on Sunday and get ready for Grundy County.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining us. Congratulations on going 2-0 this season.
Thank you.
And Amy, get him some chicken soup. All right. And, Gary, I'll back in here and we'll wrap it up here. But first, it's time now for our Hall's Player of the Game.
Hello, this is Philip Hall with Hall Family Pharmacy. We are proud to feature this broadcast Player of the Game. For winning service that you can be proud of, choose Hall Family Pharmacy.
Well, Gary, I guess you could say our Hall's Player of the Game, it was Miller time.
It really was, Gary, and Thomas Miller, I think he set the tone early. Obviously picks off the pass on the first Coalfield possession, returns it for a touchdown that gets called back. But really, he set the tone on offense because, they were wrapping up Headings, they were wrapping up Cole Cooper, but they couldn't get Miller. He's making the first guy miss, getting positive yardage. And, when you go back and you look at the stats, he ends up with 9 carries for 103 yards. And then, the interception, I definitely believe he's the player of the game.
So congratulations to Thomas Miller. It's Miller time for the York Dragons, as he is our Hall's Player of the Game. We appreciate Thomas. Great job here tonight. Folks, want to thank our sponsors for our live broadcast of tonight's ball game. They are the Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union in the Clark Range, Fentress County Executive Jimmy Johnson, State Representative John Mark Wendell, the Fentress Farmers Co-op, Hall's Family Pharmacies with locations in Jamestown and Clark Range. Also thank them for our Player of the Game. First Volunteer Bank in Clark Range and Jamestown, Pizza Hut of Jamestown, Conditioned Heating and Cooling, Meadow Thrift Pharmacy, Twin Lakes Telephone Cooperative, also Casey Frontier Chevrolet, and Jamestown Regional Medical Center, our sponsors for our live broadcast, along with State Representative Kelly Kiesling, State Senator Ken Yeager. Our pre- and post-game shows brought to you by the good folks at Progressive Savings Bank. Halftime stats by Old Ben Franklin Ford. If you need a Ford, folks, they're cheaper in the country. And Player of the Game, as we said, brought to you by Hall's Family Pharmacy. Friday Night Thunder coming up in a little while. We'll be talking with Dennis and the guys in about 30 minutes, so get ready for that. And then Coach Derwin Wright Sports Show, all both brought to you by the Union Bank in Jamestown, Clark Range, and Byrdstown. Until next week, when the Grundy County Yellow Jackets come to town, it's region action. For Gary Hall, for our camera guys, we got 3 camera guys. I've got Kevin, we got Gage, and we got Aaron tonight. So we got a whole slew of camera guys tonight. Thanks to all of them, and thanks to Gerald back at the station for keeping us on the air. That's going to do it for us from here at Coalfield High School tonight. Congratulations to York Dragons, now 2-0 on the season with a 21-0 win here tonight. Until next week, I'm Gary Clark. See you at the game.